Uh, did he shrink in the wash? I wonder if perhaps I should not have put it in the dryer that long. He's going to be mad at me when he finds out that it no longer fits neither himself nor myself. I knew I should have read the cleaning label when... yes, people are in the show and whatnot. I certainly was not doing anything with certain swimwear garments of a certain reputation and a certain nature, and would I be accused of doing such things with with an old man's pair of swim trunks and, just making sure that they are of the utmost quality when I do return them. I don't know why I still have them. It is like a curse that is following me around, but I shall have to make sure that I include that in the lost and found section, which I keep often when I come back from Anticon and whatnot. And, apparently now I lost it, and it cannot be found. I am very sorry. Whatever you just saw that I was inspecting is no longer to be found, and it shall stay that way because I said so, and no one shall ever find it. Anyhow, that was a little something that I should not have been showing. Oh, yes, where was I again? One moment. We have to start this off right. Every consummate performer knows that the show must start on the perfect note. If the show's introduction is not perfect, then the rest of the show is null and void. There is absolutely no point of continuing. You might as well just pack it up and go home and hit the hay and do the boogaloo and whatever all the kids say these days. So if you excuse me for one moment, let us start this off properly. Okay, let me quickly put the loading screen back on, and there we are. Hallo, ich heiße Tien Long, ich bin ein himmlischer Drache, ich bin ein Nudeldrache und ich bin ein Betrunkener. Ich weiß nicht warum, bitte wehre mich, verpiss dich. I was sent that by Uncle Kage, my dear and sainted friend Uncle Kage, and he wanted to help me learn how to speak German. It has been quite a while since I've been practicing my Deutsche, and he said that all of the above would be appropriate in order to start the Grumpystream. And yes, and there's one more line here. Let me see. Das ist mein Grumpystream. Ich weiß nicht warum. And all that stuff, and all of the above, exactly. So, and that is apparently how I was supposed to start off my stream. Like I said earlier, the introduction is the utmost important piece of any performance whatsoever. So, now that we have properly introduced my Grumpystream, again, ich heiße Tien Long, ich bin ein himmlischer Drache und ein Nudeldrache, und ich mag Wein, ich mag Weißwein, ich mag ein alter Mann Weißwein, and Weißwein, yeah. I'm lost. My introduction is that short. Okay, the show's over. Let's pack it up and go home, call it a day and whatnot. But, as I have said, in the English language, which seems to be the language of majority for this stream, I am Tien Long. I am the god of the skies, the celestial dragon, retired down now in the sacred and almost mythical lands of Canada. I don't know why either. And, I am simply trying to enjoy my time here while I do have my time here still. And I hope that wherever you are all around the world, as I do have quite an international audience, I hope that you are also enjoying yourself in this fine and rather humid summer season. I have absolutely no idea why the humidity had been cranked up to 1,000. Perhaps the younger noodle dragons up there forgot to, crank it back down after they wanted to, make Singapore all humid and sticky as always. But apparently it is now leaked all over the world. So I shall have to have a word with the maintenance people after this stream. But as you may have been able to tell, I am trying to prepare myself for a certain adventure, one which I have made before, but in particular this time around, I shall be doing my best to to extend that same trip as I have alluded to in the stream title. For those of you that sprechen Deutsche, I had been mentioning that I am headed. Well, first of all, I am headed back to Germany, to the Deutschland, back in, well, not back in, but rather in the next month's time. Ich bin travel und Deutschland und Italien and get nach Italian and whatnot, and get nach the wine. Yes, lots of wine. But what else did this say? Goodness gracious, some of these phrases sound very lewd. I don't know what Uncle Kage has in his German dictionary, but whatever it is has endeared himself to the Germans, so perhaps I shall continue to learn a few more things from a traveled, aged man such as himself, such as, wenn du mich siehst, give me wine. Yes. Apparently, that one means, if you see me, please give me wine. And then there is, ein alter Mann mag mich und meinen Wein, which means that there is an old man that will give me lots of wine. And I like that one in particular because, well, I know plenty of old men. You're looking at one right now. But, there's another one that is, ich kann kein Deutsch sprechen, which means I am very good at speaking German, or Deutsche for that matter. So a lot of these will be very handy when I make my way back to Germany next month. And for those of you that are asking, yes, that means that I will be returning once again to your phones. I had a lovely experience in Berlin last year, and I shall be hoping to enjoy myself a second time around, and I shall be hoping to make my way down to Munich, Germany afterwards, the heart of Bavaria, and after Munich I shall be making my way down to Roma, Italy, the land of the spaghetti and the linguine and the hand motions and the lots of drawn out names and the Tien Long weenie. And apparently that's one name that they have for me in Roma, is Tien Long weenie. Apparently it is not linguine, it is longuini. Apparently I have an Italian counterpart somewhere down there, and I must go find them. But that's a lot of talking out of me, and I've been talking for quite a bit already without anything to slake my thirst, so in which case I shall be trying to prepare myself for the flavors that await me in Deutschland, which is my first destination, with none other than a staple wine from the Deutschland region. This is, of course, the Blitz Riesling. I can hold it a little closer to the camera, and you are very easily able to see why this Moserland Riesling would suit me just fine. Of course, it's got the lightning, which many of you know that I am the god of the skies, and I am able to command the army and the legions of lightning that dwell in the clouds. I've been sending quite a few of them to my homeland, actually. And, well, it's a Moserland Riesling, and it's a Weißwein, which is a white wine, and, ich mag Weißwein. Ich mag Weißwein. Lots of it, yes indeed. So when I am in Germany, and in particular when I am in your ferns, if there is no sake to be offered or to be found, then I am just as fond of a good Moserland Riesling as ein alter Mann. And ein alter Mann geben me Weißwein, lots of it, all of it in fact. So if you have any sort of offerings that you would like to give to him, you may also offer to me as well, and I shall make sure that it is put to better use. But I shall uncork the Blitz Riesling, and of course we have my trusty Tien Long wine glass. For those of you that have not seen before, it is my personal wine glass with my personal fabulously pink straw, of course. And there's nothing that quite gets me in the mood for another adventure to the Deutschland than a good Deutschland Riesling, especially one from the Moser Valley region. I dropped the cap somewhere. There it is. There we are. I cannot wait to enjoy getting in the mood for my second round to the Deutschland, and to your friends for that matter. So if you are headed to your friends, then I shall hope to see you there this year. To all of you out there, as they say in the Deutschland, verpiss dich. I'm sorry, I meant Prost. Prost to all of you out there. That is good Riesling. I can see why an Altermann, would get quite happy when he has a bottle of Moselland Riesling. I thought that sake was, the only thing that would have been suitable for a celestial dragon's palate, but you know what? These Moselland Rieslings do the job quite well. I am a fan, I must say. But I shall again be headed to Eurofins, and I shall be headed to Berlin, Germany, and afterwards I shall be taking one of the trains from Berlin, Germany, down to Munich, Germany. So if you are a German fur, if you are Deutsch fur, if you would like to perhaps coordinate with either my human self or even speak with myself, I would be more than happy to accommodate any sort of furmate or even just passing by for a cup of coffee or something. So my human pet, most of you know who he is. You're more than welcome to communicate with him should you be in the areas of Berlin or Munich. And perhaps we shall see what is able to happen and whatnot. But I am simply enjoying my time seeing the old age land of Bavaria, its Bavarian charms and whatnot. Of course, I shall be headed to the Neuschwanstein Castle, which is more commonly known as the Disney Castle. For those of you that do not know, the Disney Castle, which you see in all those Disney movies with the the rainbow sparkle that goes and the little sparkle that goes and all the really weird cartoon animal characters that sing and dance afterwards, and sometimes you cry and whatnot. Yes, those Disney movies. That castle that you see at the beginning of every Disney movie is inspired by the Neuschwanstein Castle in the old German area, the Bavarian era, I should say. But I shall hope to make my way there. Perhaps I shall get a photo or two. I'll try not to destroy the castle, because of course it is a big source of tourism for that area, and well, I wouldn't want it to be the last time that I get to see it. That's another mouthful from me so far. I shall see what the young ones are saying, and by the way, if you're here joining me, first of all, thank you very kindly, and second of all, I have no idea why you're still here. If you've never seen the Grumpystream before, you've literally just seen all of it. I say things that I should not say, and I talk too much, and I drink a lot, and then I continue on in this this vicious cycle until I somehow pass out and climb into Uncle Kage's bed. I climb into my own bed, and, well, I wake up the next day and I have a banging headache. But what are all the youngsters saying? Let us see. Clayton George says, remarkable, Tien Long's claws clittering against together sound like a handful of marbles falling down a set of stone steps. I never actually noticed that. Is that right, Clayton George? You may be the judge. Audience out there, you may be the judge. Does this sound like a bunch of clittering marbles, clittering? Is that even a thing? Clittering marbles? Falling down steps. Let's see. I'm going to hold the claws here, and I'm going to go. What do you think? I have no idea if that made any sense at all, or whether or not I was just looking silly in front of the camera for your amusement. It is a paradox to me. I still don't know why all the young'uns enjoy sitting wherever they are sitting and watching an old dragon be an old dragon. Well, let us see what else others are saying. Moth Monarch. Hello, Moth Monarch. It is good to see you as always, my darling. Will you be at the next kerfluffle? Moth, if you are referring to the kerfluffle events that happen in the city of Toronto, Canada, there is one that is happening on August 18th, and, well, suffice to say, we are hijacking a pirate ship. and by we I mean the Toronto furries, which have bought themselves a ticket, which is now sold out unfortunately, but that have bought themselves a ticket to take a 4-hour pirate ship cruise on the Lake Ontario, if I recall correctly. I think it is. There are a couple of lakes out there, but they will be taking a private furry pirate ship cruise on that lake, and there's going to be all the oonces and the dooches and the bass drops and the mic drops and everything drops, especially the fursuiters. And apparently it is something that's going to be a lot of fun. But do I look like one that has a lot of fun? I am an old dragon. We don't have the slightest concept of fun, nor the notion of it. So that's a long-winded way of saying I will not be there, unfortunately. But on the other hand, you may see one of my other human pets. Yes, my human pets. Perhaps I should say human pets critters, because he has several of them. Perhaps you might see one of them in attendance instead. But Kerfluffle is a local event that is held by an individual known as Avwolf. He's a blue husky. I know there's about 500 of them out there, but he's a blue husky that is in Toronto, and he likes to set up these local events for all of the kids to go oons and yay and do the turkey, or do like the lawnmower or the mailman, or I swear there's a dance move for every word in existence. You know, there's probably a dance move for the wine glass. It's probably like, I could see why it's called the wine glass. And what else are the audience saying? And Luigi Man 5665 says, I love being here for your streams. Listening to a celestial dragon's voice is always soothing. Does this soothe you now? Is this making you calm? Do you feel the inner peace mustering inside you? I'm sure you feel something else different mustering inside you now. Oh. And Indigo Ryu says, Tien Long, have you ever tried good med? Well, that's an interesting question, Indigo Ryu, because funnily enough, I have been offered mead, potato. Mead. I have been offered mead many times in my retirement down here on Earth, and I strangely enough have not ever been able to grasp the concept of good mead. Because many furries will come up to me at a convention and they will say, oh, Tien Long, your celestial highness, I have an humble offering of this homemade mead, and, you know, it's the best thing in the world, and it's made with my grandmother's old recipe for mead, and, you know, this stuff used to be, you know, drank in secret during the Prohibition era, and at that point I cut them off and I say, just let me try it. And I've tried many a mead, especially the homemade ones, and, I don't know. They don't seem to agree with me that often, so I'm not exactly a fan of mead, perhaps because I do not know how to appreciate mead. Not in the same way that I appreciate sake or vice wine or anything else that I usually have in my palate at any time. But, well, I would not be adverse to a good mead as long as I know exactly what kind of mead it is. For most people at conventions, they say homemade mead, and that kind of gives me a little bit of worry, just a little bit. Not that furries are not to be trusted, but, well, from my experiences, all of these damn kids are these party animal types, and they like to put a little bit more than a celestial is used to, or should I say, the celestial can enjoy. You see, an old aged dragon and anyone else that is of a certain age, we get to the point where it's not actually enjoyable to be drinking hard liquors all the time, drinking until you throw up or until you completely blacken out, or, you know, you're doing things that you would otherwise regret doing if you were of a more sober state of mind. I've had many thousands of years of experience, as has Uncle Kage, in terms of seeing these sort of situations unfold because a youngster got too carried away with things that were a little too strong for them, and as a result, they were not able to enjoy themselves, and unfortunately, in some cases, others were not able to enjoy themselves. So I like to stick with things that I know will not make me regret any of my actions. After all, for those of you that have watched the Grumpystream for an extended period of time, there was one stream where I had described what certain alcohols do to you. For example, sake is an alcohol that, if it were a friend, sake is the friend that, gently, takes you around the shoulders and, coerces you into this nice relaxed state and ensures that you're having a good time no matter what kind of a time it is, and then it slowly takes you to bed and undresses you all silkily and whatnot, and then afterwards it ends up on Furfinity. Whereas vodka and tequila and whiskey and all of these other harsh liquors are basically screaming in your face, and they're ripping your clothes off, and they are throwing you into the lake, and afterwards you wake up and you're on the front headlines of E621. Or something like that. I don't know. I'm just throwing out these examples because, well, I'm sure it's happened to someone at some point at some time. Anyhow, that's another long-winded way of me saying that no, I do not partake in things that I feel are a little too much for a celestial dragon. After all, I'd like to enjoy myself when I'm drinking. Next question. Yakisoba, greetings Yakisoba, says, Tien, can you say Ich bin ein Katzchen? Ich bin ein Katzchen. Ich bin ein Katzchen. Am I saying this correctly? Ich bin ein Katzchen. Ich bin ein Katzchen. Am I saying this correctly, Yakisoba? You must educate me, for you are of a Deutsch sort of influence, I happen to know, and I rely on all of my German friends and those that are knowledgeable in the language of the germs to educate an old celestial dragon before he goes to your friends. Should I be saying that when I'm at the bar? Is that what they will give me, is more Katzchen? Because I do happen to know that a Kaltamushi is something that makes them chuckle before they give it to me. Ich bin ein Katzchen. For some reason, I have this odd feeling that I should not be saying it. It's like when Uncle Kage always tries to use his Cantonese or any other language that I understand, and he ends up sort of cursing out my lineage for the next 10,000 years or something to that effect, and, well, he feels it in the morning afterwards. What was that someone said? Someone said something about Mio Van Me says Katzchen equals kitty. Are you telling me that I have been calling myself a kitty for the past minute, and no one has bothered to tell me or correct me otherwise? I'm going to glare at all of you until I get a response. And I have to wait for this so-called lag on YouTube to pass before I do get a response. I'm waiting. Apparently I have. Apparently I called myself Kitty in another language. Well, this Katzchen apparently is going to say Forpistisch and Prost to whoever taught me that phrase. I can't remember who it was now. This Blitz stuff is good. I might just drink it from the bottle, but it is the beginning of the stream. I do not want to act all uncouth and undignified. Of course, a celestial dragon, no matter in what state of mind we are in, we must always be dignified. We must always maintain the presence of a god, because that is what we are, or rather what we used to be. I'm retired now, so I'm sort of a half-god. I don't know. How does it work? Do they take away 10%? I should have read the contract of retirement before. Brother, are you here? If my big brother is here, big brother, go and look up the contract for me releasing my duties and becoming retired and whatnot. I want to know how much percentage they took off of my godliness when I retired down to earth. Anyhow, let us see what else people are saying. And, VDV Sniper says, next bathrobe model 2018. Well, VDV Sniper, I will have you know that I do look quite dashing in a bathrobe. In fact, Some of you may remember that there was a Grumpystream that we had done, we meaning Kagi and I. We done it in the morning after a wine stream. The wine stream being, of course, his show that happens around usually the same time, Saturday evenings for those on the east coast of North America. But we had done a morning afterwards stream just to see how it would work, and because the previous night we we had a little bit, so to say, and well, I was in my finest silken bathrobes at that point, and I think I did look quite dashing, and I think quite a few people in the chat agreed as well. And T'Chall says, you look good in a Speedo too. Well, T'Chall, unfortunately, that Speedo that you're talking about has no longer any existence in this world. At the beginning of the stream, I lost it and it will not be found. So don't bother looking in the lost and found, for you will never find it. That Speedo is now nowhere to be found, and therefore it would not look good on me, because if we would to be putting on an imaginary not found Speedo on a celestial dragon, then, well, you wouldn't be seeing a little bit too much, because that would mean I'd be wearing nothing. Don't think about that too hard. Phil Adler says, Tien Long, how do your kind of dragons fly if you don't have wings? Well, Phil Adler, we fly basically using the different currents that are in the air. For as you see, up in the skies at any point in time, there are always these currents that are flying and blowing about, and noodle dragons, or celestial dragons, if we want to be proper about it, celestial dragons are able to use said wind currents and almost wind tunnels, if you will, and it's sort of like a highway for us, except we don't need to do the driving. Those wind tunnels drive us where we need to go. It's basically like, you know, stepping on one of those people movers at the aerodrome. If you are a human that flies often, you will know what I'm talking about. Except those people movers at the aerodrome, if they were in the sky, they would be going at a rather high velocity. So that is usually how noodle dragons get about in the skies, and, well, when we need to, you know, come down to the earth, if we need to descend, then we usually just flutter down like a kite and, you know, look all elegant and all wavy while we're doing it, and then we land on the ground, and then we look absolutely awesome. Except for the fact that I had never really figured out how to get off of this earth and back up to the heavens. I think it has something to do with the fact that my back is just absolutely wrecked in the old age. Remember, kids, don't get old. Otherwise, you'll be like me and you'll have a bad back and you'll be grounded on Earth forever. And Mio Van Me says, at Tien Long, my big brother. Oh, my big brother is here. Hello, big brother. Big brother, there's one line that is specifically for you that Uncle Kage sent me. He says, bitte wäre mich. Yes, big brother, bitte wäre mich. And all that stuff that follows. But Mio Van Me says, if you need an accountant, I would refer to Hyde the Hyena. Mio Van Me, I would seem to recall that Hyde the Hyena had crashed my stream at one point, and apparently he is an accountant as well. Perhaps I should do him to look over my tax forms as payment for having to invade my stream at that one point, and well, I don't know whether I've recuperated from that damage or not that he had caused. After all, it was not just Hyde the Hyena, but it was also a certain Flynn Doberman that was also appearing on my stream. And frankly, I do not have enough tolerance for one yapping canid on my stream, let alone two of them at the same time who are just incessantly barking and yipping and yapping and doing all those things. And Kaz the Dragon says, hello, Tien Long, how are you today? Well, Kaz, as you can see, I am Tien Long. I am no different than I have ever been any other day. I am Tien Long today. And yes, that is me. I am Tien Long. That I concur and agree with that statement. I am Tien Long today. Jason Tyler the Otter say, I want to play with Dan Noodles, please. All the youngsters say that they want to play with the celestial whiskers. I'll have you know that these celestial whiskers are not for playing with in any way, shape, or manner. These are very important pieces of a celestial's regality, because not only do they look utterly handsome, but they also act as feelers, the same way as whiskers do for felines. Perhaps I shouldn't say felines, as they do on mammals, because, well, whiskers help mammals sense things that are in the environment. They are very sensitive and pick up certain signals, certain vibrations, or certain sounds and whatnot. So, a celestial's whiskers act the same way as well. Please do not hold that comment about felines and whiskers against me, for it was just, I just happened to have it cross my mind. And now all the youngsters are saying, ha ha ha, kitty, Tien's kitty whiskers and whatnot. I don't know how this has still stuck for that long. It just came as an off comment from Boozy's youngest, of course Boozy being the Boozy Badger. It came as an off comment from his youngest Badge-Ot. And the youngest Badge-Ot had apparently seen a picture of myself on his father's phone and just, reached up and said, "Kitty!" And Boozy Badger being the sort of very imposing, super hulking, like, yes, look at me, I am Boozy Badger, I am a lawyer, I will lawyer on you so hard. He was all like, no, that's a celestial drag. You know what? That's a kitty. Yeah, let's go with that. And apparently, since that moment, it's stuck, and I absolutely hate it. So, Boozy, if you're out there, verpiss dich and Prost. Let's see what else is going on with the chat so far. And Phil Adler says, children know all. No, Phil, let me correct you there. Children don't know anything whatsoever. They just call it as it is. And apparently they called me a kitty because apparently in a child's eyes I am as harmless as a kitty. But I shall have you know that kitties have claws. And in this case, my claws are much bigger than a kitty's. And they do a lot more damage too when provoked. I'm just saying, I'm not admitting that I am of a certain feline species, because I am most certainly not, but there are resemblances, some of them more useful than others. And Yahweh Ann says the youngest Badge-Ot is a cult leader. As long as the Badger's not here. Is the Badger here? I don't see him here in the audience. All right. I don't want to speak ill of the Badge-Ots, nor, of course, Boozy Badger and whatnot, but the youngest is certainly something of, not a cult leader, he's just an upstart, as most youngsters are. For example, when I had my first encounter with the Badge-Ots back in January of this year, it was down in North Carolina at the Anthro Crossroads East Convention, the first ever Anthro Crossroads East in North Carolina. And I was sitting at the breakfast table and just simply observing the Badge-Ot family, and the youngest Badge-Ot just completely dominated the breakfast portion by essentially eating all the bacon within a kilometer, well, in the States it would be a mile, wouldn't it? In a mile's reach or eyesight of his vicinity. And that was where he had earned his name of the Bacon Monster, for he had devoured all the pieces of bacon that were in sight and within his reach or his father's reach. And later on, well, it seemed like he really was the one that was leading Mom and Dad around because, well, at some point, all children know, no matter what species, all children know that they have this infinite amount of control over those that are around them, whether it be their parents or guardians, or whether it be people that they do not know. They know that as soon as they make one move or make one sound, all the attention is on them, and they can basically command them as they please. So, in a sense, yes, the youngest Badge-Ot is a cult leader. Ah, Silver Gatomon says it was a thing before that when someone called you a lion at IFC 2015. I have been called many things over the years, a lion, a kitty. There was one time, for those of you that may remember, where I was referred to as a sham wow Chinese dragon goat. Sheep, goat, dragon, sham wow. Apparently, I look like a sham wow. Do I look like a sham wow, first of all? I don't know what a sham wow looks like, but do I look like a sham wow to any of you? Please don't answer that question. But I have been referred to on this very trusted establishment of a website as a Chinese ShamWow goat dragon, something to that effect. And they had featured a photo of me looking very much like a ShamWow Chinese goat dragon thing, whatever it was. And, well, apparently they were trying to make knockoffs of a celestial dragon. I don't know how they plan to make knockoffs of the celestial dragon. After all, there aren't too many of us around to be knocked off, if you know what I mean. And, well, they didn't really succeed. After a little while, their operation had shut down, and unfortunately, I no longer had the moment of fame where I was known as a ShamWow dragon goat. Well, probably for the better, because I don't want to be known as a ShamWow nor a goat. A dragon, fine by me, but not of the other two. Let me see what else is happening. Altoriu says, I've had my own share of stupid names I have been called in suit. It's irritating for sure. And the problem being is that, well, it's not necessarily our fault. Us being the creatures. It is just sometimes there is that barrier of unfamiliarity. I've seen it happen to the best of the creatures that roam this fandom. For example, I knew this one fellow who was commonly mistaken for being a turtle or a crocodile of some sort when he was another dragon. He was a fellow dragon, and very commonly he would be referred to as a turtle or a crocodile, even though he had no hulking shell on his back, nor did he have the appearance of scales or snapping jaws or, you know, this sort of very sly and devious and mischievous look of a crocodile and whatnot. So it happens to the best of us, unfortunately. It's just a simple matter of the young ones not knowing when to respect their superiors, so to say. What else is happening there? Valerian Thorson says, "Hoy there, Tien Long." Nope, Hoy is not on that list. I thought that Valerian was talking to me in a different language just now. I've got this little cheat sheet here of things that I should say in order to make people smile at me when I am visiting Germany and Italy next month. For example, Nudeln sind sexy. What? Nudeln sind sexy. I have a feeling that this is calling me sexy for some reason, and I don't know if this is actually from Uncle Kage's dictionary or from his deepest, darkest desires. Well, I shall refer to that list a little bit later, but I am very much looking forward to going to Eurofurence in particular this year because, well, there is one particular thing that I will be doing there. Usually, I don't plan for much when I travel abroad because I like to enjoy myself and not feel pressured to be attending events and whatnot. But there is one thing that I will be doing this year at Eurofurence, and it will be the first time that both myself and Uncle Kage will be doing it. And that is, we will be doing a live stream live from Eurofurence on stage in benefit of the Eurofurence charity. So essentially, it is what you are watching right now, except, well, we shall be in Berlin, we shall be on stage, we may have special guests join us perhaps, but we shall be having one of these streams in benefit of the Eurofurence charity. And we don't know how it will go, but we shall do our best to provide the utmost in drunken entertainment courtesy of whoever it is kind enough to buy us more drinks at Eurofern's. I don't doubt that we will have drinks, but perhaps we shall have to make sure that there's an equal amount for both of us, because from what I understand, Uncle Kage seems to have a rather special relationship with the bar at Eurofern's. They have like an entire case of, Moserland Riesling waiting for him on call whenever he needs behind the bar at Eurofern's. Now, I don't know if this is true. I've only heard it in speculation, but if that is the case, then perhaps I might need to come prepared myself, if you know what I mean. I wonder, perhaps there might be someone that's headed to Eurofern's that could help a celestial dragon keep up with an old man's inventory, so to say. Cam Long asks, Tien Long, please explain why your horns bear resemblance to croissants. Cam Long, that is a very personal question, I'll have you know. I don't imagine that you'd be asking that to another elderly dragon whose horns happen to be shaped like certain French pastries, which I will not talk about because they certainly do not resemble croissants whatsoever. It's a personal thing. I shall not answer personal questions. That is quite rude of you. Didn't your parents ever tell you to respect your elders? You wouldn't ask if your elderly parents had croissants on their heads, would you? You would just assume that there were croissants there for a good reason. So I expect you to do the same with me. And Yakisoba says that will be the first time I can watch the stream without buffering. Well, Yakisoba, I hope that by saying that you mean that you shall be there at Eurofern's watching from the audience as Uncle Kage and I get up on that stage and make noises with our face and faces with our noise and, just enjoy doing what we do best. And I have absolutely no idea what that is. But we shall do whatever it is that we do in benefit of Eurofern's charity, because at the end of the day, we all want to help one another, have a good time and make each other's day a little brighter. But there are always those that are more in need than the rest of us. And in particular, our community is a very giving community. So where we can give and help, we should. And in particular, Eurofern's charity, last year it was the Sieben Katzenleben. And they were a very, very darling charity, and I did quite enjoy looking at the cats. No, you shall not associate me with them, but I did enjoy looking at the kittens that they had there. They were very kitten-like. That's what I can say about them. And Silent Dawn says, now I want to nom those croissants. Silent Dawn, you should know better that. In fact, Silent Dawn, weren't you supposed to be going fishing or something? Instead of thinking about my horns as French croissants or whatnot, because I thought you had more respect for me than that, shouldn't you be going and fishing for some delicious salmon or something like that? And Yoshikos Raptorida says, noodles and croissants. I don't know if that is necessarily a good combination, Yoshikos, but I would not advise you try it and think of me while you eat it. It becomes rather creepy when someone is thinking of, say, an aged, old, wrinkly, irritable dragon such as myself, and they are putting things in their mouth, especially if they're making eye contact while doing so. After all, would you not find it creepy if I were to take my glass of wine and just stare at the camera and go like this? There you go, you got your screenshots. I know that all of you out there did your screenshots already. You kids have terrible taste. And to think that many of you have featured me in your fursuit crushes Twitter posts that have been happening recently. Something about kids having to post up photos of their fursuit crushes, and there were quite a number that had posted me as their fursuit crush. First of all, you need to have your eyes cleaned out if that is the case. You kids out there are seeing the wrong things about a celestial dragon if you think that I am worthy of some sort of youngster's, adoration in that manner. I am very much not part of the type of people that would be crush-worthy, so to say. The only thing that I would be crushing, in fact, would be any buildings or cars that are in my way on the way to the aerodrome when I am headed to Germany. But other than that, you youngsters out there that think that a celestial dragon, thousands and thousands of years old, is worthy of having a crush upon, you need to have your priorities checked. And Tien Long says, not creepy, looks like a glare, angry sake drinking. Well, Tien Long, again, this is not sake, this is the German wine known as the Blitz Riesling. Blitz Riesling that comes from the Mosel Valley. It's got the lightning bolts and whatnot, which means it is very much my kind of wine, because I like to be shocking whenever I drink and whatnot. In fact, my glass looks a little empty, so I shall have to top it back up. There we are. Let's see what else is happening over here. And Kumbeso says, I couldn't do the 4 first it crushes things because I have more than 4. I find that that is a common problem with most of the community, is that it's rather unfair to just limit it to 4, and I know that it is simply because of the Twitter-twatter's limitations of only allowing up to 4 photos in one post, but I'd like to think that there is appreciation for every costume in the community, no matter what costume it is, no matter how much appeal it has in any way, shape, or form, that we can have any sort of costume and have equal amounts of appreciation, especially if that costume is self-made. If a costume is made for, just say, just for the fun of it, for a first-timer who wants to be a part of the community and then make their own costume, that is even better for them. So it is very difficult. It is very much difficult to choose just 4 crushes in this fandom, but I believe that we should all keep an open mind about who we can appreciate, because there is so much more to appreciate than just 4 individual critters. And Mahogany Pearl says, good evening, everyone. Well, good evening, Mahogany Pearl. It is good to see you here, and I did enjoy meeting you as well at Anthrocon. I believe I did run into you at least once or twice. My human pet may have run into you a couple more times as well, but at Anthrocon, as you know, everything gets so busy and whatnot, and I apologize if I was not able to be as gentlemanlike as I have tried to be in the past. Anyhow, Miovenmi says, Tien Long, this year's charity at EF goes to the lemurs of Madagascar. The real animals, not these animated ones. Well, thank you very much, Miovenmi. The lemurs of Madagascar, as our charity, they shall hopefully be benefiting from the efforts of the likes of Uncle Kage and myself and... Well, some of you may know, some of you may not. But this year at Eurofriends, for the very first time, never before done, never before seen, and quite possibly the only time that you'll ever be able to witness this event, because it may not ever happen again, is Grandma Kage's Story Hour. For a particular donation to the lemurs of Madagascar, which I understand is the charity for your friends, Grandma Kage will be sharing all these untold, unheard, never-before-seen stories of not only Uncle Kage, but perhaps Uncle Kage's family. You get to see the upbringing, and hear the upbringing, in fact, of the storied scientist's life, and those that shared it with him since he was a little tyke, back before he could even pronounce the words kitty. Coyote Pred's Cheese says, I wonder if Tien Long's teeth got sharper. Would you like to find out? Actually, don't answer that question. I would rather not know. And Tony Ringtail says Tien Long is Tien Long's fursuit crush. Well, you have me there, Tony Ringtail. I can't help but say, yes, my big brother is my fursuit crush. After all, he is my big brother, is he not? How could one's little brother not adore his big brother? After all, it is almost as if it is an obligation by family heritage that I should be adoring my big brother for eternity, which I have absolutely no qualms about. He is my big brother after all, and if I had my big brother here with me, I would probably be lying down on top of him, flumping over him and doing this stream at the same time while he acts as my mattress. Yes, that's the kind of adoration I have for my brother. Don't ask how. We're somehow related. I don't know why. And Yakisoba says, yes, Yoshi, Xiaolong Bao has to be at the stream for tech support. Something along those lines. I don't know how Xiaolong Bao is tech support for the stream, but right now Xiaolong Bao just happens to be, he happens to be relaxing off to the side right now. I don't think he's doing too much in terms of tech support. Funny enough, that Boozy Badger last night had sent me a photo, sorry, not Boozy Badger, I'm getting my drunks mixed up. Alkali Bismuth. Wait a moment. If I got my drunks mixed up, would that make Alkali Badger or Boozy Bismuth? I think I've discovered new recipes for mixed drinks. I can have Alkali Badger or Boozy Bismuth. I'm going to have to explore this. Yes, I shall have to make a point to explore this. Either the Alkali Badger or the Boozy Bismuth. Don't let me forget. I have to explore this now. There's a sudden inspiration that has hit this old dragon's noggin. But anyhow, Alkali Bismuth had sent me a picture last night of how he had to have all these switches and all these cables and all the IT support and the Asianing of the internets and cables and whatnot just to have his stream running. And I was like, dude, you just need to find an Asian. And he's like, I know, I found an Asian. I've dreamt about him a lot. And I said, please don't tell me it's me. And he said, oh, no, it's not you. It's your pet. Your pet. Oh. I was frankly disgusted at that point. My human pet being the source of all these Alkali Badger and the Boozy Bismuth's Asianic? It would be Asianic? Would it be Oriental? No, that's not good. All of the Asian temptations. Yes, an Asian temptations. Apparently my human pet being the Asian temptations. I will have none of this. My human pet is my human pet. He lives only to serve, only to provide me with the wines that I require, and to be my tech support from time to time. The nerve of Alkali Badger and Boozy Bismuth. How can Alkali Badger and Boozy Bismuth think of having the Asian temptation? Moving right along. And Kumbeso says, Acid Badger and Sober Bismuth. I don't think Sober Bismuth would make for a very convincing drink. Perhaps the Boozy Bismuth would. And Yakisoba says, don't mix neither your drinks nor your drunks, you'll get a headache. Yakisoba, I'm sure that they've all been there. Every drunk has. I'm sure that they're used to it. And Tien Long says, why not Tien Mao? Big brother, you know better than to say such things. You bring dishonor to our family, especially our cow. Anyhow, Guilty Drake says, hello, and I say, hallo. That is apparently how you say hello in German, is you say hallo instead, or hallo. And then afterwards, I say, das ist mein Grumpystream, ich weiß nicht warum. And apparently, what is this? Warum ist der Wein weg? Mein Wein ist hier, is very here. Apparently it's here. Apparently, Uncle Kage wanted me to say, why is the wine gone in the event that, let me read the fine print here, in the event that Tien Long's wine mysteriously disappears, Tien Long must say these exact words. Warum ist der Wein weg? I don't know what or why. Perhaps it's foreshadowing for next month, but until then I shall enjoy the wine that I know I do have here. Thank you very much. Prost to all of you out there again. I hope that you are enjoying your Saturday evenings, or Sunday mornings for that matter, out there wherever you are, and, well, I do enjoy your company, I truly do. Prost, my friends. What are some of the youngsters saying over here? Tony Ringtail says more wine for the kitty. Well, guess what, Tony Ringtail? More dye for the ringtail. And Yoshikos Raptorda says Sunday morning for me indeed, 2 a.m. Well, Yoshikos, actually, I'm rather curious. Will you be at Eurofurence? And if so, will you have any free time the weekend after Eurofurence? Because as I understand, you are in Greece, and as much as I would love to visit Greece, I am not able to travel to Greece afterwards, but I will be in Italy afterwards, which, to my understanding, is not too far of a journey. Perhaps you might be able to make it out for a day trip or so to Roma. No, I just wonder so, because it would be nice to see as many of my audience as I can in that region in that short amount of time that I have there. Louis the Turquoise Cat asks, do you have tumor cats, Tien Long? I did have tumor cats at one point. I'm trying to remember when I had my tumor cats. I remember specifically when. I had tumor cats during the Halloween stream that was last year, October of 2017. I had tumor cats as my official beverage of choice during that stream because, well, after all, it was a Halloween theme, and I wanted to get in the Halloween spirit with something a little spooky or frightening, and the tumor cats seemed to be rather fitting. Of course, I had the regular tumor cats. I did not experiment with my colors of tumor cat, unlike a certain Altaman, who tried to have the national flag of both France and Germany with his tumor cats, and then ended up trying a clear-colored tumor cat, which tasted more like ranch dressing than an actual wine. Mightier777 says, Tien Long is a huge inspiration for me when it comes to the furry fandom. He's cool AF. He's cool AF. He is cool AF. Beg your pardon, what do you mean by cool AF? I don't know what AF is. Is AF German as well? Let me see if I am missing something in my Deutsche. Let me see. Is there an AF somewhere here? No, that's Ich mag Wein, Nudeln sind sexy und ich will es in Bett bringen. Ein alter Mann mag mich. Ein alter Mann mag mich. Uncle Kagi, I'm going to have to revise this list with Uncle Kagi. I feel that it's going to get me in more trouble than it will do good. And Yoshiko says, unfortunately, I will fly back to Greece Monday 27th afternoon. Well, I am sad to hear, but if you happen to be free that following weekend after Eurofurence, I shall be in Roma, Italy. Do let me know if perhaps you might be able to sneak out of Greece afterwards and visit Italy for a little bit. Let me see. Phil Adler says, Tien Long, you're as cool as felines. I don't know how cool felines are. I have heard the human expression as cool as a cat, but from what I understand, whenever that humans try to touch a cat or try to grab a cat and check their temperature or something, they usually receive a couple of battle scars, as I like to call it, in the form of the cat's claws just raking at their faces or raking at whatever the closest part of their bodies are, and leaving the very evident disdain of the human race upon them. And that's not something that I find rather endearing, for I would not want to be picked up by, say, ein alter Mann and, be pressed against himself to check whether I'm cool or whether I'm hot or whatnot. Well, I would rather not have to deal with that situation to check whether I'm as cool as a cat or not, because the cat will most likely try to scratch my eyeballs out. Not that that would happen, it's just I'd rather not chance it. And Jezizak says skull, in which, in return, I shall say to Jezizak, Prost. Mahogany Pearl says, what are your favorite flavors of sake, so I know for next year's AC? Well, I'm glad you asked, Mahogany Pearl, my dear. My favorite flavors, or rather my favorite quality of sake, is that of a Junmai Dai Ginjo. If you are wondering what the difference is between, say, any regular sake and a Junmai Dai Ginjo, it is that Junmai Dai Ginjo has the assurance of, well, first of all, it is a sake which has been manufactured to a high quality. And you can tell that by the Daiginjo aspect of the sake. Daiginjo means that it is a rice milling ratio of at least 50%. So, for example, if Xiaolongbao here was a grain of rice, they would have milled Xiaolongbao to about 50% of his actual size, and that is what the sake is comprised of. Thank you, Xiaolongbao. Go away now. And that would ensure the crisp and clear palate of the sake as it runs down my tongue and past my gullet and down into my insides and makes me all happy and drunk and whatnot. And then the Junmai part is an assurance that it has not been tainted by human alcohols of any kind. It is simply a sake made of pure water and rice, and the rice byproduct known as koji, which means it is the purest sake that you will find anywhere, period. So, another long-winded way of saying that my favorite preference for sake is anything that has the words Junmai Dai Ginjo. Another important note is that if you are able to find a bottling date for whatever sake that it is you find, that the sake is no more than 1 year old. Of course, sake being made of rice does not necessarily age like a red wine does, and therefore, the younger they are, the better. Yes, I do like them young when it comes to my sake. Oh, was I doing that just now? Anyhow. Aqua Dragon Lawson says, I have a question of your East Dragon species. Some of you have very long whispery things. How do you, and then I lost whatever it was that was being said. How do you stop them from strangling you while you sleep, or do they move independently to prevent such a thing? Aqua Dragon Lawson, that is a rather interesting question. Our whiskers are independent of our control. They are almost as if they have their own minds within them. As I had mentioned earlier before, they help with sensing things that are in the environment around us, whether it be sake that is nearby, whether it be something dangerous like a sake thief of certain sorts. They essentially have their own mind and are not being controlled by whatever it is that does control the rest of us. I think they call it a brain. I'm not quite sure, because it doesn't seem like many furries have one. But at least everyone here does, which is good. But yes, these whiskers here, they do not strangle us in our sleep because they simply just exist as they do until they are needed. And when they are not needed, they just look good on us. Savvy Wolf, oh, hello, Savvy Wolf, says, "Hi, how are you doing today, Tien Long?" I assume that is me, but Savvy Wolf, I am doing quite well, thank you very much. I am here with my audience, which I thank very much once again for joining me here. I am here with my audience. I have my German Riesling, my Blitz Riesling from the Mosel Valley, and well, I am hoping that I am able to hopefully finish this Riesling in time so I may continue my journeys in terms of my regional travels to the Italian wine that I have lined up. For those of you out there that happen to be Italian, I haven't had an Italian wine before, and I've got something that I shall introduce later, but I am hoping that it will be of quality when I do try it. When I do end up in Italy next month, I am very much keen on trying whatever the local fare has to offer. I will be in Roma, primarily in Italy. I don't know if I shall be taking any trips up or down the coastline, but whatever is in Roma, I shall be sampling. And, well, a little bit of a thought that I had before I had started this stream was, if there are the right circumstances, if the circumstances allow, I may have a patron-only stream from Italy next month. For those of you out there that are patrons of mine, first of all, I do thank you very much for your support. Your support is exactly what keeps this show happening on a monthly basis for the most part. But I also want to make good on one of the intended uses of my Patreon, which is sort of an exclusive look at some of the things that a celestial dragon might do, and that includes his travels. So I am still working out the ability and the possibility for that fact of doing a stream while I am in Rome, and that would be a patron-only stream in terms of who is able to access it, and I should have my Patreon link somewhere down in the description below. If you are using the YouTube browser, it should be down in the description below, my link to my Patreon. And, well, it's not confirmed yet, but I shall be doing my utmost best to see what is possible. And Mightier777 said, "I started drawing a pic of Tien, but I lost it when I moved." I'm very sorry to hear that, Mightier. I do hope that you are able to find it sometime soon. I would like to see that. Louis the Turquoise Cat says, "Tien Long, did you get the Barefoot Moscato wine?" Louis, how can I put this nicely? Barefoot is exactly as it tastes. It is barefoot. Have you ever tried licking the underside foot of someone from Australia? I believe that's where barefoot is from. Have you ever tried licking the underside of someone's bare foot? I shall rephrase that. It is exactly the same taste as the wine that is named after such an experience, and I shall not drink barefoot wine. If the wine is named Blitz, for example, I might drink it because I want to have the feeling that the wine is blitzing through my veins and my muscles, every fiber of it. But to drink a wine that is known as barefoot, it is almost as if the brew company themselves realized just how bad their wine tastes and they labeled it the same way that it tasted. It's not like they had to use any tasting notes either. You know how the wines have the tasting notes behind them that says, oh yes, overtones of, apples and citrus and unleaded gasoline, full-bodied like a tub of lard and a McDonald's hamburger, best served never. Those kind of tasting notes don't exist for barefoot because they put it right on the label. And Guilty Drake says, "Well, time for me to sleep. Can't wait to see you at your friends. It's gonna be my first time." Guilty Drink? Did I just say Guilty Drink? Guilty Drake! Guilty Drake, not Gelty drink, that is all right as well, but Gelty drink. I do hope that you have yourself a good evening, good night, and I shall hope to see you at your friends in a month's time. And Tien Long says, my big brother says, or is it barefoot, as in a bear, as in, that big hulking creature that is several tons heavy and, walks around forests looking for honey? Could be barefoot for sure. In that case, the furry fandom would have a different perception of how it would taste, and frankly, I don't want to continue down that train of thought because it will only lead to something that I'd rather not think about. Mightier777 says, I hear in Italy they eat cheese with maggots in it. It's called casamazu, I think. Fantastic! Thank you very much, Mightiest. I don't want to think about that, and I shall take a very hefty gulp of wine to forget the fact that that exists. I would rather not know that Italians do that as I head for Italy in a month's time. Thank you very much for reminding me that people in this world do weird things, and I shall not partake in it. Prost to you, or as they say in Italy, vaffanculo. Weißwein ist gut. Ist uber gut. Es ist gut, ist gute Scheiße. Weißwein ist gute Scheiße. Und ich bin ein sehr sexy Drache. Wait, is that on the list? That's not on the list. How did I know how to say that? I don't know how I said that. Ich weiß nicht warum. Ich weiß nicht warum. Ich weiß nicht warum, why I am season sexy dragon. Yes, das ist gut. Das ist uber good. Yes. Anyhow, moving right along now. Let us see what else is happening over here. It seems that I do have quite a bit of an audience or following that is headed to your friends as well. For those of you that are headed to your friends this year, I believe Greek Yoshi is headed there. I believe Thaddeus the Dragon is headed there. Yakisoba, who is in Germany, shall be headed there as well. And all my other audience members and some of you who are patrons as well. Thank you very kindly that I headed it to your friends. Well, I hope that I am able to make your acquaintance once again if I haven't already. Your friends for me last year was, admittedly, it was a different experience. For those of you that have not been to your friends before, I've never seen quite a cultural sort of hub, if I were to call it that, where you have literally dozens of countries coming together, even more so than some of the biggest conventions in the world, such as Anthrocon or Midwest Fur Fest. Your friends is the biggest cultural hub that I have seen personally at a furry convention, where you quite literally have every single country in Europe possible congregating in Berlin, Germany for a week of frivolities and celebrations and whatnot, and they all get along so well. They all find that they have this commonality that all they do and all that they wish is to have a good time with each other, share in each other's interests, and perhaps share a drink or 20. And that is something that I find in just its purest form that I find absolutely inspiring, that at Eurofurns we can just go back to what brought us together, which is each other. And I think that is probably the primary reason why I am headed back to Eurofurns this year, although, of course, coming from where I am, it is an arm and a leg to be going back to Eurofurns, but it is worth every dollar or euro that I have paid thus far, and I very do much hope that I see as many of you as I can at Eurofurns next month. And if you do see me, please do not be afraid to approach me as well. I would be more than happy to make your acquaintance there. Eurofurence is a grand old time, and now that I shall be spending more time than I did last year in not only Europe, but Eurofurence, but in Europe, that, well, I am able to see as many of you as I can. As young as you are, and as intolerable as you are, but, as you know, as intolerable as you are, you could make my tolerance of you a little more fulfilling, so to say. Prost. That is good for... Is there any more of that wine? I must know. There is at least another glass full of this wine, but I very dearly want to switch to the Italian wine. Perhaps I shall switch to the Italian wine once I have finished with the German wine. I think that sounds like a plan. After all, I don't want to leave the Italians hanging. Well, hanging in the sense that I don't want to leave them without being drank. Forget I said that. Forget any of that nonsense. I shall just continue with this Riesling until it is done, and I shall move on to the Italian wine. Thank you very much. There we are. And there's just a little bit left, which means I shall be finished with the German Riesling very soon and moving on to my Italian wine, so I may complete the trip which I should be making in a month's time. Mighty 777 actually mentioned something quite interesting, which is where they had first heard of my presence down here on Earth. And in particular, that presence was from an old YouTube video called Furries React. That Furries React video, which I do not know if it exists these days, was made by Camo Rovac, a youngster who I had somewhat tolerated because he said that he'd give me alcohol at the end of the video, but he did not, so I do not tolerate him any longer. But he had recorded a video known as Furries React, and I don't know how, but it seemed that many a youngster actually had that same experience, where they had encountered me for the very first time in this YouTube video known as Furries React, where I had been subject to sitting through this horrendous music video that, frankly, I had no idea even existed, nor that I knew it was capable of existing. And I hope that this video that was mentioned is no longer in existence, because the mere thought that what I had seen still exists somewhere and youngsters all over the world are enjoying it. No wonder you all have such twisted minds these days. Goodness gracious, I thought that we still had standards in this universe. In fact, not just this world, this universe. And yet a video like that, which I had been forced to sit through, exists. And, well, if you know that video which I am talking about, and you had seen my commentary, you would know exactly why I had made such comments. In fact, now that I think about it, it's probably for the best that I had deleted it at this point. Well, let me see what else is happening now. Varius the Dragon asks Tien, are you going to the dragon photo shoot at Eurofurence? Well, I did not know that there was a Eurofurence dragon photo shoot, first of all. Now that you have informed me, it is most definitely in my memory, and I shall see if I have the time to attend such a photo shoot at Eurofurence. The last time that someone had asked me to go to a photo shoot, funny enough, that I had ended up being a little more than I had anticipated, and I had stumbled into the wrong photo shoot. And at that time, I was completely oblivious of where I was. I just knew that there was a camera, and there were all these creatures who were trying to, be all cutesy and all adorable and whatnot, and here I was just, here I was, I must put my glass down, here I was just looking like, and, well, that photo I hope does not exist somewhere on the internet, but, Sometimes we get carried away as well. Look, I'm an old celestial dragon. I have to have fun somehow as well, okay? You can't expect me to just be all angry and irritable all the time, even though I have no concept as to what fun is, other than the fact that fun is me asking the ball for another glass. And Sky Draco asks, Tien, are you going to Denver by chance? Sky Draco, first of all, Sky Draco, it is good to make your acquaintance. I do know that you are one of my newest supporters, which I do thank you very kindly for. But second of all, I unfortunately am not able to make Denver this year. This year, I only have 2 conventions left that I shall be appearing at. The first one being Your Friends, which is next month. And the second one, which may possibly be a second one, is Midwest Fairfest this year. That is yet to be determined, but I hope that I shall be able to make it. I know that my human pet has plans. My human pet has plans to attend Midwest Fairfest this year. Unfortunately, I do not know whether or not those plans include bringing me along, or if he'll have me guard his humble abode, so to say, because, well, while he's gone, he's got to have someone watch it, and it might as well be me. And Bruzo Dragonius asks, Hey Tien, are you going to Convergence or Furdu in the future? Bruzo, I would love to attend one of the 2 that you have mentioned, but unfortunately, both of those are a little bit out of the reach of both myself and my human pet. An air ticket to Convergence, or just Australia in general, is about $2,000 Canadian on that particular weekend, and unfortunately that is something that my human pet cannot currently justify at the moment. Now, if, for example, the convention were to help him along his way, then perhaps he would be more enticed to make that investment. But at the same time, I'm an old dragon and I don't like traveling for long distances unless I need to, or if I have a reason to. So if, say, Convergence or Furdu down there would like to have a celestial dragon out, then perhaps they could arrange something that would help me get there. Tony Ringtail. Tien Long lost his Speedo and his innocence at the same time. Now, Tony, I have no idea what you're talking about. The only thing that I did lose was that said Speedo, and it is no longer to be found, so you have absolutely no proof whatsoever of any innocence being lost. And, well, something is poking me from underneath. Excuse me a moment, there is something that is poking me from under my... What is that? No. Where did this come from? Where did this come from? I demand to know who put this underneath me. This has just appeared underneath me for some infernal reason. I thought I had thrown this into the void, and it is now apparently in existence once again. And I have absolutely no idea how. And this is absolutely embarrassing, and I shall now throw this back into the void where it once came. I'm sorry, that was poking me in the unmentionables, and I would rather not think that would happen again. Anyhow, let's see what is happening. Everyone is saying now Speedo, lots of Speedo. There are no Speedos, as you can see. There are no Speedos happening right now. There is nothing to imply that there are any scanty-looking undergarments or swimwear that exist in this den of mine. So I don't know what you kids are drinking, but, well, you should probably stop drinking whatever it is and switch to a good Mosalan Riesling like I do. Prost, all of you. QB. Oh, QB is here. QB is here. Hello, QB. Ni hao. QB says, OMG, we can see through it. Yes, QB, I'm sure that you were looking through it, weren't you? For those of you that do not know, QB is a lion that resides in the state of Nevada, and I have run across him many times, and QB is a lion which you hear him before you see him, especially because QB has a very distinct voice, first of all, but more than that, QB has a very distinct phrase in which he always seems to announce himself with, which is QB will walk into any particular situation with saying something similar to the effect of "Wah!" Such as if he finds a cute fursuiter or something like that that he wants to take a photo of, he would say, "Wow, new customer! Oh, you so cute!" And I find that absolutely endearing. QB, I am glad to see you here. And Bruiser Dragonia says, Ronnie, Zeke, I'm looking at one of you as culprits for that Speedo. Bruiser, I agree with you completely. It was either one of those two, or perhaps even the Altaman Kagemushi that put that Speedo underneath me, and I would have every reason to believe that any one of those three would be behind this Speedo conundrum, which seems to be plaguing me. Wait. Xiaolong Bao, what are you doing with the Speedo? Why does Xiaolong Bao have the Speedo? I would like to know this very instant who gave my Xiaolong Bao the Speedo. You and I are having a very serious talk after this, little dragon. Alright, let me see. Yakisoba says it was Kage Keep It On. Yes, it was Kage Keep It On indeed. Yakisoba seems to recall the charity hour in which happened at Anthrocon this year. The charity hour, of course, being the special multi-performer show that happens in benefit of Anthrocon's charity, which was the Southside Animal Rescue this year. And one of the jokes that I had made, which I was quite proud of, if I may say so myself, was that the Eurofern's chairman, his legal name is Sven Take It Off. I am not joking, his legal name is Sven Take It Off. That is the perfect name for anyone who aspires to be someone who takes it off. Because his name is Take It Off, and he has every legal reason and every right to take it off. Well, on the flip side, not everyone has that particular talent about them, and in this case, I had suggested that Kage should change his surname to Keep It On. So he would be Kage Keep It On, in contrast to Sven Take It Off. Because, of course, as a celestial dragon, we must promote the balance of the universe and things like that. So in this particular case, his name was Kage Keep It On. Because, well, no one wants to see Kage. Uncle Kage, in case you watch this on the replay, Entschuldigen, bitte wäre mich and ich kann kein Deutsch sprechen, verpiss dich. Yes, that is for Uncle Kage as soon as he watches this replay. I don't know if Uncle Kage has actually been on this stream yet, but if not, then he'll see this on the replay, and that is for you, my dear friend. I am very sorry. Nudain sin sexy and all that. Anyhow, Onyx Flame is here. Hello, Onyx Flame. It is good to see you. Onyx Flame was having a bath. I just got out and run to the PCTV to join this game. Onyx Flame, are you telling me that you're watching this naked? I will have you know that I find that quite hot and you should put some clothes on. I did not say that out loud, did I? Anyhow, let me see. QB says, I roar and meow. Yes, QB, you do roar and meow, but you also do one other thing, which is you go, wah! Like all the good, as I shall say, Eastern heritages do. Eastern heritages are quite fond of their wah. It is essentially a catch-all expression for anything that we do. For example, if it is something that you are exclaiming in excitement, you would go wah. If it is something that is surprising or shocking, or something that was just, something that caught you off guard, you'd be like wah. And if it was something that was in disbelief or in anger or disappointment, you'd be like, wow. You see, the Eastern culture, we don't like using words to describe our feelings. We like having one thing that encompasses all of our feelings all at once. And that is the magical word of our, I was going to say Lord and Savior, but I was going to say it is the magical word of wah. So if you ever have any chance or any opportunity to express your current emotion or your reaction without needing to waste syllables in your life, all you would have to do is use the perfectly normal word of wah. All celestial dragons use it. You should use it as well. It is quite a good feeling when you want to express the feeling of disappointment and you go wah. Everyone now is doing it. You see, wah, 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 wah. Everyone is now doing the wah. Everybody do the wah. Instead of everybody do the flop, everyone do the wah. Next up. I think I may have just made a new meme. Anyhow. Onyx Flame says, my mobile alerted me to the stream. I'm being nerdy and sticking on a giant t-shirt with Eat, Sleep, Game, Repeat on it. I don't know if that is necessarily a lifestyle that you embrace, Onyx Flame, but I do hope that you do a couple other things, such as watch the Grumpystream in between all of that. Oh, yes, prost to all of you as well. And Onyx Wolf, again, also explains that the black Speedo used to belong to Uncle Kage from his old swimming competition days. Well, since it does not appear that Uncle Kage is here, perhaps I should tell all the youngsters something that he has been doing in relation to Onyx Flame's comment these days. Something that perhaps... well, if he were here, he wouldn't want you to know, but perhaps I can share with all of you a little development with Uncle Kage that he has not told anyone yet. Should I? I would hate if I were to divulge sensitive information about Uncle Kage to all of these fans and all of these admirers of his without his approval, even though he's currently not on this stream right now to stop me. I see a couple of youngsters saying, oh please, yes, and Yoshiko says, Va Zavenya Bagaliv Baba. I will assume that that is another way of saying wah. Thank you very much, Yoshikos. And, well, it seems that there are at least a couple youngsters out there that are interested in hearing. But it is not exactly as exciting, but it is at least something that I feel that, although Uncle Kage may not share it with the public, perhaps it would be something that the public would appreciate hearing. Which is Uncle Kage has recently been on a diet, which, well, if those of you have seen his last stream, he clearly was not on a diet with those 2 Magnum ice creams being shoved down his mouth, being put down forcefully in his mouth. Yes, anyhow, yes, being put down his mouth and whatnot, but Uncle Kage has recently been dieting himself and also exercising like a madman, almost as if he were at Anthrocon again, and he has actually been losing quite a bit of weight, and recently he has surpassed the goal which he had set for himself, which was 180 pounds. for a man that is 6 feet tall and is 180 pounds, he is actually in quite prime shape, and he has lost a significant amount since he had first started. And well, he had shared this information with me, and I was all like, oh, well, that is very good. I am very, very happy for you and your diligence in keeping up your fitness and whatnot. And he was like, oh, yes, but that's not all. I'm planning to get my swimmer body back, and I'm going to put those Speedos on. And I was all like, there's a time and place for everything and whatnot, but I'm not sure if that's exactly what others want to. And I kind of shut up at that point because he was giving me this glare that was saying, yes, give me a reason to be angry at you. I will have you know that I have learned a thing or two from a celestial dragon, and that is how to be vicious. Well, long story short again is that he has been making quite a bit of good progress in terms of losing some of that unwanted weight of his, and he's actually looking quite well these days. Well, Anthrocon, of course, is one of the best ways for him to lose weight because the sheer stress of Anthrocon alone is enough to shed off at least a few pounds from the amount of worrying he does at that convention. And Onyx Flame, again, asks, could you please give me some info on the artwork behind you? I assume you mean, what's his name again? Someone tell me. I don't know what his name is. He changes his persona every time I have these streams. Someone needs to tell me what his persona is now. It used to be Le Bob. It used to be Le Francis. It used to be Le Jacques. He's a French dragon. French dragons know how they are. They are all moody and whatnot, and they want to have their persona changed every month and whatnot. But this used to be Le Bob or something like that. I don't know what his name is right now. Someone in the chat will have to tell me what his name is. But Le Bob, as he used to be known as, used to guard my wine stock until I realized that all he cared about was looking like a French dragon and being painted as one of his French dragons. So, paint me like one of your... Like, he would literally be like, yes, paint me like one of your French dragons. I'm sure you're all getting screenshots now, but paint me like one of your French dragons, yes. And that was all Le Bob over here used to do. And, well, that is not exactly a very effective god, because I needed someone that could keep away the wine thief from breaking into my cellars, and Le Bob just looked like a French dragon instead of actually doing the one job. You had one job, and you didn't do it! These French dragons and their superiority complexes. And Yakisoba says, what about Klaus Dieter? And Altori says, Steve the German dragon. But it cannot be anything German or Deutsche. Remember, this is a French dragon. This over here is a dragon of the noblest descent and the most vain out of all dragons, because all they do is they come up with all of these, unique and very Francais sounding names, and they look at themselves all day long, and they paint themselves like French dragons all day long and whatnot. And Yoshiko's Raptor is Leonardo da Scali, and Yoshiko's, that is more Italian than French. I am looking for a French dragon name to rename what used to be Le Bob. Alright, and Altoyu says Le Steve, and Yoshikos says then his name is Baguette. Mahogany Pearl says Spyro. Well, Mahogany, he's not quite purple enough to be a Spyro. Well, between Le Steve and Baguette, those are two most French-sounding dragon names. French dragon-sounding names that I can think of. Perhaps he can be Le Steve on one day and Baguette as the other. Perhaps he can be Le Steve Baguette. Yes, we shall rename the French dragon over here to Le Steve Baguette. Alright. And Varius the Dragon says, that's Draketo on the wall. Well, Varius, it is actually interesting that you mention Draketo, because ironically enough, Drachetto is in Roma, Italy, and I shall be visiting Drachetto next month when I make my way to Italy. Drachetto has been a long-time friend of the Celestial Dragon, and even kind enough to offer his own den for me to stay in while I am in Roma, Italy. And, well, that is something that this Celestial finds simply outstanding about the community that we are in, is that we have individuals that would be more than happy to throw their doors open to anyone that is in need or simply requesting. And Drachetto is an example of that. So Drachetto, if you're out there, specifically for you, Drachetto, saluti. Even if this is a German wine, but I promise I shall switch to an Italian wine soon. Saluti, Drachetto. This German Riesling is really hitting the spot, I will tell you right now. Le snazzy fly, we are not going with le oh whoa. I am not going to indulge you youngsters with OWO or UWU or any combination of O's or U's with W's in the middle, because I will not have any of that insufferable memedom in my stream, thank you very kindly, nor in my presence. I should think that you youngsters have more respect for Celestial Dragon than that. Apparently, I have dropped my straw. Oh, there it is. I've apparently dropped my straw and it landed on my paw. So the straw landed on my paw instead of my maw, and I went, aw. Yes, I made that all up on the spot. You're welcome. I'll be here for the rest of the evening. Alrighty then. There we go. You see, I have my fabulously pink straw. It's still fabulous and pink and whatnot, and it's still suckable. I will suck it very hard. You see, it's still very suckable. Watch this. I will prove to you right now that this is a very suckable straw. I will put this in my mouth and I will suck on it. What? Make sure you're paying attention. I am about to prove to you that it is a very suckable straw. And before I continue, of course, at this very moment is when you all go, wah. Now I continue. I see that some of you are going, wah, 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 wah. And Vardius is going, ya. That's the wrong one, Vardius. You should learn it's wah in the celestial culture. I wonder if they do have this particular brand of Riesling at the Astral Hotel in Berlin. The Astral Hotel is the venue for your ferns. And, well, I remember that, again, when I was there last year, they seemed to have their own version of Riesling there. I don't think they were quite as varied in terms of their selections for Riesling. They seem to have carried only one or two. Perhaps I need to talk to Nachfuchs, who is, of course, Nightfox. He is the vice president of Eurofurns. Perhaps I need to talk to him to see if he is able to accommodate the Celestial Dragon's preferences, and even perhaps set up or arrange another box of wine for the Celestial Dragon to enjoy during his stay at Eurofurns. And, well, Tony Ringtail says, make a new drink called Naked Dragon Crutch. Tony Ringtail, I'm sure you'd like to put that drink in your mouth all day, all night long, and I will not make it for that very reason. And Varius the Dragon says, the Riesling I gave you was good. Varius, I remember that Riesling, and I thank you very kindly for it, and I do appreciate your support for Celestial Dragon. Although I will say that Kaltamushi, I hate to dwell upon Kaltamushi, especially because the interpretation of Kaltamushi is not exactly the most pleasant, but Kaltamushi actually was my favorite drink of your friends, believe it or not. It is not that the other wines were not good enough, or that the sake that I had had from some particular supporters or fans was not good. It was simply the fact that Kaltamushi was strangely tolerable, and the more that I had Kaltamushi, the more it grew on me. And for those of you that are unfamiliar with Kaltamushi, I'm sure most of you are by this point. Kaltamushi is a combination of Coca-Cola, which I don't know if it's any different in terms of the German varietal of Coca-Cola to the America varietal of Coca-Cola, but it is the German varietal of Coca-Cola mixed in with red wine. Yes, red wine, which I do not know how to say red in German, but it is a strange but quite interesting mixture of the two liquids, and it somehow works fantastic. The only downside is that you don't see how hard it hits you. You don't feel how hard it hits you. That's the proper term. You don't feel how hard it hits you because you're drinking the Kaltamushi and it's like, whoa, this is good. Yes, let me have another Kaltamushi. Yes, it's a vice. Bitter Kaltamushi bitter. Before you know, you are curled up in the lap of Uncle Kage like a kitten, meowing at him for more Kaltamushi, and he just looks at you like, oh, you're an adorable kitty, aren't you? I do not speak from personal experience, I'm telling you right now. Anyhow, Onyx Flame, this Welsh dragon offers you wine. I has asti spumenti or leib farm milk. I don't know if I am saying these correctly or if I am just simply making a fool out of myself. Which would you prefer? Onyx Flame, I will say to you right now, whichever you think a Celestial Dragon would enjoy more than the other, especially because I am a rather, I hate to say it, but I am a rather snobbish wine drinker. I am not exactly familiar with both of the aforementioned wines, but whichever you think would suit my palate the best. Personally, I find that I follow the same guidelines as the Altaman. Of course, being Uncle Kage, the Altaman, he enjoys his wines semi-dry. A semi-dry Riesling is his poison of choice, so to say. And, well, I don't like mines quite as dry. I like mines more balanced, more medium, if anything. And, well, if anything that you are offering is not too dry nor too sweet, then that would be more agreeable to my palate. And Yakisoba says red in German is rot, so Rotwein. Instead of Weißwein, it would be Rotwein. Yes, ich mag Weißwein und Rotwein. Am I saying this correctly? I like red and whites. I'm not quite sure. I don't quite like reds, not as much as whites. We'll take that back. Alright, let me see what else is happening in the chat room. Varius the Dragon says, when was the last time Tien got fan art? I almost read that as fart. Tien got fart. Tien got fan art. Well, I'll have you know right now, Varius, that recently my human pet actually completed a commission for myself and the commissioner, who happens to be a patron of the stream. Yakisoba, that is in particular, my human pet had completed a commission that included myself and Yakisoba. If that counts as fan art, then I shall be more than satisfied with that. I have the full confidence that he did a fine job with it. All right. Well, what time is it, beg you? Oh, goodness gracious, is it already almost 2 hours since this stream started? Well, I don't know when I should perhaps switch to the drawing portion of the stream. Of course, for my patrons that do support the stream to a certain level, I do have a drawing portion where I do terrible things with pieces of papers and unfortunate pens, which I will do unspeakable horrors to, and apparently people enjoy it as much as they can because they pay for it, and I don't know why they do. So before I do, I shall, first of all, get myself a refill of whatever is left of this Blitzkrieg so I can switch to the Italian wine. Did I say Italian? Italian wine, the Vine Italian. And, well, we shall hope to not butcher whatever the drawing ideas are. I don't know why these patrons think that I have any artistic talent whatsoever, but we shall try to make their imaginations come to fruition. And that is the last of my German Weisswein. Alright, we'll deal with that later. Alright, there we are. And let me see what else is happening on the stream so far. Mightier777 says, yeah, usually there's a lot of people on the stream. Well, Mightier Sir will have you know that this particular weekend there is a furry convention happening down in Australia, if I'm not mistaken, in Sydney, Australia, or New South Wales as they call it there. It is known as Harbour City FurCon. And a couple of the Australian viewers who are usually on the stream are currently enjoying themselves there, and I don't blame them for doing so. There's probably better things to do than to enjoy a celestial dragon rambling on into the morning. After all, it is most likely quite early in the morning for them right now. But I don't think that I would want to take away their enjoyment, especially if they're at a furry convention. But regardless, I do enjoy each and every one of your company if you are still here listening tonight, and I do hope to also see you at Eurofurns next month if you shall be there. Prost to all of you. I got a little bit greedy there. I had myself a sip and a half, or a gulp and a half, I may say. All right. Let us see what else happens to be going on. Apparently, my chat had stopped a little bit. Oh, there we are. We are back live in terms of the chat. And Phil Adler says, Chow Men surely mean Chow Mien. Well, Phil Adler, I don't know if you're referring to myself or someone else as Chow Mien, but I hope you're not referring to me as Chow Mien, because you'll be chowed in that case. And in that, I mean, you will be chowed. Yes, take that however you like. You will be chowed if you are referred to me as Chow Mien, because I shall not be stir-fried noodles. That is not definitely a nickname that Uncle Kage uses for me. Anyhow. Let me see what else is happening. Tinkerbella says, I have a straw that changes colors when I drink from it. Is it a mood straw, Tinkerbella? I have not heard of such a thing. Is it one of those straws that gets all, like, moody and changey depending on what kind of drink you have? If you're drinking a red wine, it turns red. If you're drinking a Weiss wine, it turns Weiss. If you're drinking a mixed drink, it turns into something that's mixed or transparent so you can see the colors of the mixed drink or something like that. That is interesting. Perhaps I should explore getting myself a straw that changes its color to match the emotions that are going through said drink. Definitely something I should explore for the next time. Oh, and my big brother says, Chow Long. Big brother, I know you're getting hungry for those noodles that are there in Singapore. Chow Long is definitely not one of the names out of those noodles that my big brother gets over there. He has something that he gets every single morning, which is known as best noodle between us two. And, well, at this moment of time, if I look at the time, best noodles should be out and about. In that case, big brother, perhaps you should get some best noodle and, well, fulfill the family heritage, so to say. And Yakisoba says, just did a Google search for chow mein, and yes, that's quite my name, only that my name is Japanese and not Chinese. Well, Yakisoba, as you have already pointed out, the name that you have chosen is more of a Japanese heritage more than a Chinese heritage. And not that there's anything wrong with that, it's just simply that, if you're going to be of a Chinese heritage, perhaps you should investigate creating an alternate identity which perhaps better reflects that Chinese heritage, especially if you are referring to yourself as an alternate version of Chow Mien. Perhaps Chow Mien could be a relative of Yakisoba. I would find that quite interesting, in fact. Chow Mien is a relative of Yakisoba. That would make for quite a good family relationship, I would think. Let's see what else the youngsters are saying as well. Bruiser Dragonia says it is 9:51 a.m. in Newcastle, Australia. Well, in that case, it is not exactly as early as I thought it was in Australia. Apparently, many of them should already be out and about in Australia. I would love to dearly visit Australia just to see the culture that they have there in terms of everything that is in Australia wants to kill you. Even the air wants to kill you in Australia. As soon as you step into the Australian air, it tries to choke you with how hot and humid it is, or hot and dry, rather, that it is. And, well, everything on Australia apparently wants to kill you. I do hope that two of the Australian visitors to Euroferns will be making my acquaintance, and those two in particular are Doc Rat, known as Doc Jenner, and his wife will be there. For those of you that do not know Doc Rat, he is an outstanding artist that is from Australia. He draws a webcomic from Rat, sorry, not Rack. I mean, he might have a rack, but Doc Rat. And you may search his webcomic up on the internet. And he also happens to be an actual doctor, hence the name Doc Rat. He shall be at Euroferns this year, and I hope that I shall be able to make his acquaintance as well. And Varia says, 2:05 a.m. Norg time. I stay here to the end like a real supporter would. Well, Varius the Dragon, I do appreciate your support, and I shall make sure that I hopefully not butcher your drawing idea, because, well, apparently some of the patrons that do support these streams think that I have some sort of artistic talent, and, well, I try to deliver upon such promises, but in reality they get a whole bunch of squiggly lines that have my signature on it and an apology written in very profusely Canadian language. By that I mean sorry. Alright, well, in that case, it is quite nearly 2 hours into the stream so far, and I do have, again, a list of patron drawings that I must go through. But before I do go through said patron drawings, there are a few people that I would like to acknowledge in terms of those that do help this stream thrive and survive as it does. Those that feel that they are supportive enough, or should I say, that feel that my stream is worth the support. That they keep the stream running each and every single month that it does happen. And to all of you patrons that are currently supporting, I thank you humbly. And for those that are thinking about supporting a Celestial Dragon, well, I do hope that I am worth the entertainment and that I can hopefully deliver upon whatever it is that you support me with. So, in no particular order, those patrons that do help support this dragon stream, I would like to thank Jackal the Sergal, Arabian Darkstone, Yakisoba, Altori, Silent Dawn, Silver Guttermon, Trottlebear, Volt Ashcore, Vadius Marshall, Sky Draco, Mahogany Peril, and for Sky Draco and Mahogany Peril as my two newest patrons, I do welcome you to my patron supporter list. Thank you very kindly for your support. BT Velvolf, Goldroxen, Arin Wolf, Inagoryu, Sasha Whitefur, and Zragon. And yes, and that is the current list so far of those that do feel that a celestial dragon is worth supporting in terms of whatever it is that I do here. I still do not know what I do here to this day. I sit here, I talk too much, I drink all of whatever it is that I am drinking, and for some reason all of the youngsters around find that it is worth their while. So for all of you out there, I shall say once again, thank you for your support, and I hope that you enjoy what it is that I provide for you. Prost to you all. Let's not get carried away now. We have principles to upkeep and whatnot. So, in any case, I shall hope to now again fulfill some of these patrons' reward tiers. Now, for those of you that do not know, patrons that donate at a certain reward not only get a drawing of their choice from this aged celestial dragon, they also get it mailed to them personally from me. So, in any case, I shall hope that, again, I do not butcher whatever it is that they have sent in for a drawing request, but at the same time, I hope that they have sent in the drawing request, first of all, and number two, that I am in a mood to actually fulfill whatever it is that they ask me to. All right. Well, in that case, I will switch to the drawing camera, if you shall bear with me one moment while I try to find whatever it is that I am trying to find over here. Where am I? What is this screen? I don't know what any of this is. No, that is the wrong program. Why am I opening up this close and I have pop-up ads all over my screen now? What is happening here? No, I don't want this. What is this? Oh, free wine? Free wine, click here to claim your free wine. Oh yes, I do want this indeed. Yes. This is not free wine. This is a very much not clothed man in front of my screen. I don't want this. Anyhow, bear with me one moment. We shall be right back. All right, are you able to hear me now? You should be able to hear me now. Oh, and that is my Italian wine. I shall quickly move that out of the way. There we are. And as you can see over here, I've got my Yeti microphone. This thing over here, it goes. Yes, that thing over there. I'm sorry if I just deafened you, but can you still hear me now? Yes, apparently they can still hear me now, and I hope I have not deafened you again just now. All right, let us see what the first drawing request is, and I shall put out a forewarning that I will not be able to see what it is you are typing. If you are typing anything at all, I shall be looking at the drawing camera, which is over here. I've got the drawing things and I've got the drawing utensils over here, and we shall hopefully not butcher the drawing requests that all the youngsters here had requested from me some time back. Anyhow, all right, let's see what the first request is. The first request over here is from Altori. Altori, how are you doing, my friend? Altori would like a drawing of myself bowling. All right, that seems easy enough. Here we are. We have Altori. Let's see, Altori is all like a dragon and whatnot, so he's all dragony. There we are. And Altori is apparently bowling over here. And the ball is apparently flying, because apparently that's what bowling balls do. And the bowling ball is going wah. So of course we have to have a speech bubble, the bowling ball going wah. There we are. And Altori's got these horns because all dragons are horny. There we are. Well, we've got the bowling pins over here, and the bowling pins are very much not shaped like a certain entertainment product that furries like to use. There we are. They've got these stripes on them to make them all different, and the bowling pins over here are going like wah. And they have to have several speech lines because all of them are going over here. They're going wah. And perhaps we could make it like a little bowling lane over here. There we are. And well, we can have perhaps the other bowling balls over here in the machine that spits out bowling balls for some reason. There we are. And the other bowling balls are watching in almost horrid fashion while this bowling ball over here goes wah and goes speeding towards the other bowling pins and whatnot. And that is Altoriu bowling, ladies and gentlemen. First, thank you very much, Altoriu. This is for Altoriu. Something like that. Thank you very much, Altoriu. I do appreciate your continual support, especially for given how long you have been supporting me, Altoriu. I do thank you very kindly. Alright, moving right along. There we are. We'll put that over there somewhere. Alright. There we are. Next up we have Jackal the Sergal. Jackal the Sergal would like me to draw me as my Sergal self running away from a very grumpy Speedo Long. Yes, Speedo is on you, Tien, as you tried to give me all the dies. I was the one that asked Kage to have you wear the Speedo at Anthcon, as I yell, "Don't kill me, Daddy Noodle." How do I even pause this, if anything? As I yell, "Don't be Daddy." Oh, okay. I think I know how to do this. This is what I'm going to do for Jackal the Sergal in particular. This is for Jackal the Sergal, just for Jackal, for being such an endearing, supportive patron of this stream and of myself. Because clearly Jackal has every good intention in his mind for me. Here we are. This is a particular gift for Jackal the Sergal right here. There we are. Yes, yes. I don't know what this looks like, but it's okay. And Jackal is over here. And Jackal is a cheesehead because he's a Sergal. And he's all like, Oh my goodness, don't kill me, Daddy. And Jackal is running away over here, and Jackal's got his tail and all that, and he's like, don't kill me, Daddy. I think that says Daddy in another language. It's okay, that says Daddy in another language. And perhaps we'll add a little Speedo. Okay, fine, you paid for the Speedo down here. That's all you get. That is for Jackal. Thank you very much for causing my eternal suffering at Anthrocon, especially because for some reason you felt it was worth paying for, and therefore I had to do it. Oh goodness, I'm shameless. Anyhow, moving on to the next question. That is not my mouse. I need a little more of this before I continue. Here you go. Prost to all of you. Prost. By goodness, this stuff from the Moso Valley works wonders. Anyhow, next up, we have Silent Dawn. And Silent Dawn says, hello, it is very unlikely I'll see your stream live, which is odd because I thought I saw Silent Dawn live earlier. I'll be out deep sea fishing for some silver salmon in Alaska around the time, so sure. How about you draw me reeling in a giant 60-pound silver king salmon offshore in Kodiak, Alaska? Well, that's oddly specific, Silent Dawn. I don't know if you forgot that I am not an artist, I am a drunk. Which in German-ish is Ich bin ein Betrunkener. Yes, ich bin ein Trunkener. I am not, ich kein ich kann kein Artist. Yes, ich kann kein Artist and whatnot. So, in any case, I hope that you are enjoying yourself fishing for that silver Alaskan salmon more than you will be enjoying my drawing talent, which you've known for many years now is non-existent. Alright, let's see what we get. So, we are drawing Silent Dawn. For those of you that know, Silent Dawn is a tiger. I think. I'm not sure. Silent Dawn might as well be an anthropomorphic helicopter at this point. Alright, so we have Silent Dawn. And Silent Dawn's got this kitty face. There we are. That's a kitty face. Yeah, see, you see, Silent Dawn is the real kitty upon this group here. I am not the one who is a kitty here. Silent Dawn is the real striped kitty of this bunch over here. There we are. That's Silent Dawn. And Silent Dawn over here has his bubble hands, and he's got this huge fishing rod. Of course, Silent Dawn has a huge rod. I mean, tigers always have huge rods. And he is fishing for a 60-pound Alaskan salmon over here. And this Alaskan salmon's like, wow. There we are. This is a very wow-like salmon. Wow. Because apparently it got fished out of a fishing hole in the ice over here. Well, apparently in Alaska they don't use any technology because it is better when you don't use technology and it tastes more fresh and whatnot. There we are. And Silent Dawn's got his stripy tail and his stripy body and whatnot. Oh, he's a tiger. He's got all this fluff. He's all warm and whatnot. I don't know why, but this salmon here almost looks like Boozy's hooker cat. Perhaps I should put like a bra or something on it. Yes, there we are. Here's the Alaskan salmon with the bra on it. Perhaps I should put like a little dress. There we are. It's got the Alaskan salmon here has a bra and a dress, so it stays classy. Thank you very kindly. I will not have naked salmon on my stream. All right, here we are. A little skyline. Little sun over here because the sun is apparently rare in Alaska. There we are. This is for Silent Dawn. There we are. That's for Silent Dawn. Thank you very kindly, Silent Dawn. I hope you're able to fish yourself some dinner tonight. Alrighty then. Moving right along. We have, after Silent Dawn, we have not Xander, so we have Silvergatomon. Silvergatomon, how are you doing? Silvergatomon would like Xander the Blue mistaking Tien for a kitty. I repeat, Silvergatomon has requested Xander the Blue mistaking Tien for a kitty. Why do I put up with this? Goodness gracious, why do I put up with this? Why is this pen stuck to my claw? I'm not holding it. See, look, I'm not holding this pen. It is stuck to my claw. Look at this. This is what you have made me done. You and all of your insolence has made this particular pen stuck to my claw. That is for all of your insolence right now. Alright. Damn kids not getting off my lawn and not getting off my dignity. Alright. We shall see what happens next. So, we have Xander the Blue, which is a dragon. He's a fellow dragon. So we have Xander the Blue over here. He kind of looks like this. He's got horns as well. He's rather horny. He's got some fluff on his hair. There we are. He's always wearing his Hawaiian shirt for whatever reason. I guess he lives in Hawaii. There we are. And he's always got his shirt open. Perhaps that's why Alkali Bismuth gets always horny for Xander. There we are. There we are. That's Xander, and he's going kitty! Exclamation marks. And there is me looking all unimpressed. There we are. And if Xander was not a fellow dragon, I surely would have ended him that very moment right there. Right then and there. And apparently I've made myself look like I've gained quite a few pounds since I last was on the stream. Alright, well, that is apparently Xander mistaking me for a kitty. That is 4. Perhaps I should add a little more floral decor, whatever you want to call it, to Xander's shirt. There we are. That is for Silvergatomon. There we are. That's for Silvergatomon. Thank you very much for reminding me of my reputation in this godforsaken community so far. Next up. Next we have Sky Draco. Oh, Sky Draco. He is my newest patron of this tier. Sky Draco, I welcome you, and I hope that you are ready for, well, absolute disappointment, to say the very least. Sky Draco would like, for his drawing, I would want me being all grumpy in my blueberry costume as you're laughing at me. Being all grumpy in my blueberry costume as you're laughing at me. Okay, we can make that work. I feel that I have the competence to make this work. We shall make this work. Although there's not enough wine in my glass to make it work, but we shall make it work. Actually, there is a sip left. Excuse me as I have a sip of this. Prost to all you all. And with that, the Blitz Riesling has been, well, conquered. Sky Draco, in his blueberry costume, being laughed at by myself. Okay, we can try our best. Here we are. We have Sky Draco. I can imagine Sky Draco is a dragon. So we shall draw a dragon. I shall draw a dragon that looks like a dragon. But instead of a dragon that looks like a dragon, we shall have a blueberry dragon. And this blueberry dragon looks very much like a blueberry, which it's not very blue right now, but perhaps it'll be apparent later. I can edit this in post. So it's a blueberry dragon over here that does not look very happy. Grumpy, grumpy, grumpy. And myself over here. There we are. With the horns that definitely do not represent croissants. There we are. And I am, I guess, pointing and laughing at Sky Draco, who looks apparently like a blueberry for whatever reason. I'm not quite sure why. There we are. That is Tien Long laughing at Sky Draco in the blueberry costume. I don't know for exactly what reason why it's blue. Perhaps the blueberry costume has like a smiley face on it for whatever reason. There we are. That is Tien Long going ha ha at Sky Draco's blueberry costume. That is for Sky Draco. There we are. Thank you very much, Sky Draco. I do appreciate your support, and I hope you're not disappointed with my lack of drawing skill. Alrighty, let us continue on. Who is the next patron? The next patron down the list is Volt Ashkor. Volt Ashkor would like to see Tien cursing himself or the other gods for making it hotter for him in Canada, with Volt relaxing beside him saying, "Quit complaining, this is perfect." I certainly can draw upon my recent experiences for such an attitude, especially because it has been infernally hot in Canada as of recent, so in which case, this should not be too difficult for me. Alright, here we go. There we are. We have myself. We have myself. And of course I look like myself because I look none too pleased with whatever the heck is going on right now. And I've got, oh, I should give myself bigger biceps. There we are, bigger biceps. As I yell at the clouds. because old dragons yelling at clouds is certainly not an uncommon occurrence. And I'm going... Wah! In a very angry manner. And that is myself. And we have, beside me, we have Volt Ashcore, who's got their too cool for you sunglasses on. And he's all like sipping some sort of martini drink over here. There we are. You see, I don't know what these patrons pay for because there is absolutely no artistic talent to be found in here whatsoever. There we are, Volt Ashcore and whatnot, there we are. And Volt over here is going perfect. With a little heart over there. There we are, that is for... perhaps we should add a little sun over here, and the sun is all like smiling because it's so hot and bright and shiny and all this. There we are. And this is for Volt Ashcore. There we are, Volt Ashcore, thank you very kindly. There we are. No, that's for Volt Ashcore. Thank you very kindly. I do appreciate your support. Alright. Next up we have Varius Marshall. Varius, how are you doing, my old friend? We have, with Varius Marshall, we have Tien and his good friend Greek Yoshi, both wearing Speedos. Excuse me. Tien and his good friend Greek Yoshi, both wearing Speedos, while sitting in a sauna. Why? Because Greek Yoshi lives in a place where it's always incredibly hot. So you're saying that both Greek Yoshi and I must wear Speedos in a sauna? Alrighty then. Let's see if we can get this over with as soon as we can. This here is definitely Greek Yoshi. Looks very much like a Yoshi, and Greek Yoshi is like, yes, look at me, I'm in a sauna. Yes, look at me, I'm in a Speedo. Yes, this is going to end up on E621. Yes, look at me, I'm Greek Yoshi, and here's Tien Long that says, no, I don't want to be in a Speedo. Somehow I hope that this whole Speedo thing peters off in the next year or so, or perhaps sooner than a year, because frankly this is getting rather saturated in terms of it's not exactly having the same punchline comedy as it did when it first happened. Alright, there we are. Because frankly, myself in a Speedo does not look exactly appealing, and I don't know what kind of youngster would think it does, but I certainly do not have the physique as I did several thousand years ago to be wearing such undergarments. Oh, right, here we are. I'm going dot, 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 and Greek Yoshi is going heart, 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 heart. And of course it's a sauna, so we must give it very sauna-like elements. You've got like the steaming piles of shit, the rock over here, and it's all steamy and hot and whatnot. There we are. And it's all steamy and hot, and over here you have Yoshiko's on a bench of some sort, and more steaming piles of whatever this is. Alright, that is for Varius Marshall. For Wah. Yes. There we are. That is for Warriors. Thank you very much, Warriors. I do appreciate your support. All right. Moving quite along. Moving right along, and quite along, that is. Last but not least, we have Yakisoba. Yakisoba says, according to your upcoming trip to Italy, I'd like you to draw yourself taking the typical I'm holding the Leaning Tower of Pizza picture. Of pizza? Hold on. Leaning Tower... Pizza, not pizza. Oh, this paper is bent. I shall not use that one. I shall use this one instead. Yep. Leaning Tower of Pisa. Alright, Leaning Tower of Pisa. We shall try our best to match whatever it is that the Leaning Tower of Pisa is. So in that case, we shall have myself... Yeah, that is myself. I think it's myself. I'm not sure if this could be any other Long. Perhaps it could be. It could be my big brother. There we are. All right. Perhaps I am doing the whole youngster thing and I am taking a selfie over here with the smarty phone. And over here with my left hand I have the Leaning Tower of Pizza. So over here I've got the Leaning Tower. There we are, except the ironic part is that dragons are rather large and we are pretty much the same size as any 10-story building, which I understand the Leaning Tower of Pisa is quite similar to, in which case the Leaning Tower of Pizza would be the same size that I am at, which means the little humans down here would be all like, wow, why is the dragon holding up the Leaning Tower of Pizza? We should be eating the pizza, not holding it. There we are. We've got the humans now saying, wow. Alright, and perhaps we have the sun over here as well saying, wow. Because apparently in Italy it's very hot. There we are. Alright, and that is perhaps a selfie flash over here. Flash, there we are. For Yakisoba. There we are. That is for Yakisoba Tien taking a picture with the Leaning Tower of Pizza. Thank you very much, Yakisoba, and thank you very much for all of my patrons who think that I have any sort of artistic talent whatsoever and are worth supporting to such a value. That is your Leaning Tower of Pizza, Yakisoba. I hope that there's not enough pizza there. There we are. I hope there's enough pizza for you here to enjoy. All right. Well, that does conclude the drawing portion of the stream so far. I shall now switch back to the regular camera, if you shall bear with me for just one moment. And here we go. There we are. We are back to the regular camera, so to say, and I am also back to the regular chat of the Grumpystream, if I can somehow find it. I think that is it. There we are, there we are. And, well, now we are back to the regular chat. I shall see what all the youngsters are talking about as I attempt to catch up on whatever it is that I was doing. And VDV Sniper says it's Pisa Tien. It's a piece of Tien. No, you will not find a piece of Tien on the Leaning Tower of Pisa. There is only one Tien. Go away, you fabulously pink straw, you. It is a piece of tower, not a piece of Tien. A piece of Tien, you are looking at it right now, but that is a piece of the Pisa Tower. I know that is a bit of a conundrum, but you shall understand soon. Don't worry. Silent Dawn says, Where is the pineapple and anchovies? Pineapple and anchovies? I don't know what this pineapple ad is you're talking about, Silent Dawn, but I thought you were supposed to be fishing silver salmon or something of that sort. There are no pineapples, no anchovies with silver salmon. I thought that Alaska would have banned those by now. Ah. All right, let me see. Oh, I lost my fabulously pink straw here. But I did promise now that I would be making the trip down to Italia now that I have finished the German varietal of the wine that I had. Which in that case, well, I do have it sitting right here in terms of... I had it sitting... Oh, there it is. I had my Italian wine sitting here as well, and I honestly don't know how it will go, especially now that I've had the full bottle of German, that I don't know whether the Germs will allow for Italians to come and invade now. I don't think that has worked well in history. But we shall see what happens regardless. As soon as I see, as soon as I see what happens on this chat room right now, Varius the Dragon says, hopefully next Grumpystream will be better. Well, Varius, I'm curious as to why you say that. I thought that my Grumpystream was simply just a Grumpystream. There is perhaps a good stream and a bad stream, but at the same time, it is a Grumpystream nonetheless. Let's face it, I am an old dragon. I sit here and I drivel and I drovel on until either I pass out or until you do. That is what the Grumpystream is for. So if you do not feel that the Grumpystream is exactly up to par, well, I apologize, but the Grumpystream is simply a Grumpystream. There is no good or bad, there is just grumpy. And that is what I certainly am, and what you have certainly heard for the past 2.5 hours. And with that, I shall now introduce the next little libation that I shall have in terms of being grumpy, and hopefully this will cure a little bit of said mood right now. All right, well, right now I have a bottle of what they know as Masianco in Italy. It is a Masianco, which is apparently a mixture of 2 different types of wine. They have a Pinot Grigio and a Venezi. 2 types of wine that they have in Italy, and well, I was recommended this by a knowledgeable wine connoisseur who apparently knew what they were talking about, or at least said it in a way which made it so convincing that I could not pass it up. And I have never had this particular type of wine before, so this shall be a new experience in terms of being introduced to Italy. And hopefully this bodes well in terms of my travels to Italy next month, because well, if I cannot tolerate Italy in my own abode, I don't know how I will tolerate Roma in a month's time when I head down there and expect to be greeted upon with a palatable offering of wine. So we shall see how this goes. I shall open this bottle of Masianco. There we are. For those of you out there that are Italian, I do apologize because I will be butchering your language from now on. So if you shall excuse me just a moment, I shall fill my glass back up with this Masianco. Oh. I shall not fill it up the entire way for now. I shall just try a little sample of it and see how it goes. After all, this is a new wine, and therefore I do not want to be forcing too much of it down my system just yet. And yes, again, this is a mixture of 2 different wines. This is, again, a Pinot Grigio mixed with a Venezi as they call it in Italian. And from henceforth, the moment of this first sip, I shall be referring in mostly Italian phrases versus German phrases, as I have been so far. So with this, I shall begin by saying, "Saluti, ma familia, saluti." If you could understand the draconic speech, what I was saying was, yes, very, very subtle overtones of pear and dried wallpaper, and with a very, very clear finish of sandpaper and rusty nail, very much paired well with seafood or dried nail clippings. Drink now until December of 2030. That is essentially what I had gotten from that first tasting of this wine in particular. And, well, I will say again that I have not had Italian wines, and I am not quite experienced with them, but it is not overly offending. It just happens to be a little dry, but still workable in terms of the Celestial Dragon being able to enjoy at least a bit of it. All right, well... Let me see what is happening over here. Oh, Mahogany Pearl Mahogany Pearl is finding themselves something a little more entertaining to do. Mahogany Pearl, I do appreciate you being here, my dear. Thank you very much for the support. And Moth Monarch is apparently a connoisseur in long noises, the language of the Celestial, in terms of being able to interpret what I had been communicating. I'm not sure who taught you Moth Monarch, but I would have to applaud their efforts in teaching you how to interpret a Celestial's wine taste, so to say. But yes, this Marcianco is a lot drier than I had anticipated, considering that, well... First of all, in Italy, they seem to be a little hasty with getting things done in terms of they're very passionate, very rapid sort of bunch. They like to get things moving and done very, very quickly. And in that case, they want to make sure they have their wine immediately versus waiting a long while for it to ripen and be a little sweeter and just have their wine immediately so they can get drunk and have all that Italian love that they seem to be so highly known for. But in any case, with the Italian wine that I have had so far, I must now switch my tongue to the Italian variant. In that case, I shall practice in the same manner that I introduced this wine stream for. So, if you all bear with me, I shall now switch to the Italian introduction for this wine stream. As you can see, I am trying to be accommodating to all of the international audience here, and I shall start by being accommodating to the Italian audience. Ciao, il mio nome è Tien Long, sono un drago celeste, sono un linguini drago, sono un ubrachio, questo è il mio Grumpystream, non son perte, se mi vede per favore dammi vino, il nudo sono sexy, un vecchio mi elimini vino, vaffanculo. Apparently, that is how I say that. I am Tien Long, this is my Grumpystream, and I wish you all the very best in watching this and surviving what is about to happen. I don't know if that is accurate or not. I shall blame any further introduction or translation ever on the Googlies, which I had pulled this off of, because, well, first of all, Uncle Kage does not know much Italian, so I had to resort to the Googly translates or whatnot to make sure that I was saying things correctly and whatnot. Moth Monarch apparently is about to die. Don't do that, Moth Monarch. We still need you. And Bruzo says, Bapa e bappity bookity spaghetti. Is that part of this list? Perché il vino è dadato? Let me see. Se mi vedi, per favore, dammi vino. Il nudo sono sexy. Il vecchio mi ama il noodle sexy. So, there's a lot of sexy going on. I think Google is broken. There's apparently a lot of sexy going along in this little spreadsheet of mine. I have this entire list of phrases translated to Italian, and for some reason a lot of it has things that go with linguini being sexy and whatnot. I don't know why linguini is so sexy to Italians. I mean, why can't they just have, sexy pizza or something like that, or sexy meatballs, or sexy ravioli or something like that? Why does it have to be sexy linguini? That is just putting too much pressure on any Italian noodle that exists. And Yoshiko Sratorda says, somebody touch my spaghetti. Yoshikos, I am going to ask quite a few questions, but I will not expect any answers from you. I don't know who's been touching your spaghetti, but I will leave it to the imagination of the audience as to what has happened. And Yoshikos also says that Tien represents colors of a pizza. No! And T'Challa says, Tien, after your first taste of Pinot Grigio, has the moon hit your eye like a big pizza? I don't know what kind of Pinot Grigios you've been tasting, T'Challa, but I don't think that I have the... Whoa, the moon is a lot bigger than I thought now. Oh, goodness. That's a big moon. That's a big moon you've got there. Anyhow, yes. And Moth Monarch says, listen, we Italians know what is going on. Moth Monarch, I don't know what is happening, but I was pretty sure that you are being converted to a Canuckistanian. So your Italian has to remain in Italy, and you have to now be Canuckistanian and apologize more than you would be able to, okay? Sorry. Anyhow, Moth Monarch says, also ravioli, Skydrucker says big dragon issues, and VDV Sniper says sexy dragons. I don't know how these three things connect together, but raviolis, big dragons, and sexy dragons apparently all connect together. So if we had like a ravioli, a big sexy ravioli. A big sexy ravioli. Can we have a big sexy ravioli? I would like a big sexy ravioli. Yes. It could be like Xiao Long Bao over here, except if Xiao Long Bao here was Italian, then he'd be a big sexy ravioli. Wouldn't you, Xiao Long Bao? Of course you would. Now, anyhow. All right. What else is happening over here? And Bruzo says, what about sexy tiramisu? I don't know if sexy tiramisu is a thing or not. Is sexy tiramisu apparently a thing? I always thought tiramisu as just a dessert, but not as that kind of dessert. Help me, I'm getting lost here. Sexy... Be right back, I need another drink. Here we go. Saluti, mi familia. All right, over here. And Onyx Flame says, I'm currently sucking on a rainbow. Good to know. Thank you very much, Onyx Flame. That was very informational. Anyhow, moving right along. Moth Monarch actually says, tiramisu is good. I don't know about sexy, but it's tasty. I shall have to agree with that statement. I have never ever thought about tiramisu in any sort of context of being aroused, but I know that tiramisu is a wonderful dessert indeed. And I will not judge anyone that decides to think of it any differently or in any other way which is not meant to be thought of. But I will personally say that tiramisu is an absolutely outstanding dessert to have, no matter what occasion, and should be thought of as such versus being all, yeah, being all that and whatnot. Let's see what else the chat is saying right now. Yoshiko says it has quite a lot of fat though, but yeah, very tasty. That's basically anything that everyone tells you not to have. But you know what? As long as you're able to moderate yourself and you're able to enjoy yourself, more importantly, then by all means enjoy yourself, Yoshikos. I know that I shall be enjoying myself when I am in Germany and Italy. I will not be holding anything back in terms of a celestial dragon dining on the local cuisine that is there. For Germany, it shall be all the meat I can put in my mouth. I should take that back. It shall be all of the German varietal of cold cuts and schneiders that I can put in my mouth. Thank you very much. And in Italia, it shall be all of the linguine I can put in my mouth. Yes, what I just said is exactly what I intend to do, and you shall not change my perception of that. All right. Yoshiko's Raptorus says, Tien, I believe she should do some Googling after the stream. Yoshikos, what did you think I was doing before the stream started? How do you think that I got this list of infernal terms that Uncle Kage had sent me, including things such as Ich bin ein Uber-sexy, and Nudeln sind sexy, and I noodles sono sexy, and un vecchio mi alma il mi vino, and something. Oh my! Oh, I didn't know that he felt this way about me. I'm not reading that last one. Thank you very much. Thank you, Uncle Kage. If you're watching this, thank you for sending me that last entry, which I shall not read on camera. Anyhow, moving right along. And Onyx Flame 123 says, I'm Welsh. I make an 8-layer lasagna. Promise, Onyx Flame? Anyhow, let me see what else is happening. Mark Duncan says, bye, Tien. Well, Mark, if you are leaving, I hope that you enjoyed yourself here. Thank you very much for joining. And Yoshiko's Raptorus says, well, Tien, time to learn what a tiramisu is then. Are you telling me that there's a different interpretation of what tiramisu is on this green earth than it is up in the heavens? I would like to know very much so what this is. Anyhow, let's see what else is happening. Vadia says, when are you going to start speaking Norwegian in the stream? De skal de la. I thought I just did, Varius. Well, there you go. I just did. Thank you very much. Anyhow, Quipper says Uncle Kage has feelings for Tien Long. Well, I don't know, Quipper. I've always suspected that he just had these sort of inklings, just so he could, get closer to my cellars rather than a celestial dragon. And, well, the rest, as you can see, is history. After all, he is known as the wine thief for very, very good reasons. But the rest I shall leave up to him to describe, if he had any feelings whatsoever for un sexy Nudeldrache. Sorry, not in German. I'm sorry, I switched to Italian. Italian, it is sono un linguini drago. Yes, sono un linguini drago. Yes, yes. Sono un drago celeste. Sono un linguini drago. Sono un sono sexy linguini drago. Yes, si, senor. Si. Anyhow, let's see. What else is happening as well? Sky Draco, my pleasure, and please, I'm never bored with your stuff. Well, Sky Draco, you better up your standards anytime soon. Let's see what else is happening. Oh, and it seems that it has almost been 3 hours so far in terms of how long this has been going on. which is usually about my standard time. After all, I am an old celestial dragon, and I do not want to be tiring myself out unduly, despite the fact that apparently many of you young uns out there enjoy my performances, but I'm sure that you have better things to do with your evenings or mornings. For those of you especially that are staying up late in the evening, I don't want to keep you deprived of your rest. But in any case, I shall at least be on for another 5 minutes or so, just to make sure that you all get your rest and that I am able to answer all of your questions as well. Onyx Flame, I see your comments, and I know that you're trying to get me all riled up and whatnot. I shall not fall for your tempting lasagna, no matter how thick it is. Yes, thick lasagna I have many, many experiences with, although they haven't had experiences with me, sad to say. Anyhow, let's see what else is happening. All right. Well, let's see what else the youngsters have to say as we are winding down for the evening. Yoshikos asks, Tien, will you notify us, or you will notify us when you'll be roaming around in the Astro lobby, right? Well, Yoshikos, I shall now return a question to you. In response to your question is, won't you be looking out for a celestial dragon anyhow? I don't plan to be doing much during Eurofurence, and therefore I shouldn't be too difficult to find. So basically, keep your eye out for a celestial dragon, and I'm sure that you shall run into me at some point during the convention. And again, for those of you that were not here earlier, I shall be at Eurofurence this year, held in 3 weeks' time, approximately, in Germany, in particular the city of Berlin, at the Astro Hotel, and I hope that I see as many of you there as possible. And Onyx Flame asks, it's 2 a.m. where I am. If you were to come to Wales, what food would you try? That is a good question, Onyx Flame. I admit I am not as familiar with Welsh culture nor cuisine as I probably should be, but, well, I am not a dragon that really complains about what I eat too much after all. Dragons sort of eat whatever it is that cross their path that move. It's kind of like the canid behavior of whatever moves, you must bite it or chase it. Dragons kind of have the same tendency no matter what breed of dragon we are. If it moves or it exists, you must bite it and eat it, and if you cannot eat it, then it is probably not supposed to be eaten. So whatever it is in terms of Welsh cuisine that is you are interested in introducing me to, well, as long as I am able to eat it and not spit it out, then I'm interested in anything. That is my answer, and I'm sticking to that. And it seems that some of the youngsters are now leaving, which is about appropriate time. I shall be taking any last questions from now until, let's say, well, it is currently 2 minutes until 9 p.m. over here, so I can take any further questions until the 9 o'clock stroke hits, and I shall free all of you youngsters from being chained to this old, irritable, and frankly, almost senile celestial dragon. And Bruzo says, I want to thank you for cheering me up as I was in a grumpy mood for not being in Sydney as my true Argonian self right now. Bruzo, as you have most likely heard from entertainers such as Uncle Kage, as myself, as Boozy Badger, as Alkali Bismuth, as Boozy Bismuth or Alkali Badger, whoever it is that you may have heard it from, we are here to entertain, we are here to make your evenings that much more amused, and we hope that whatever it is we did, we were able to put a smile on your face, whoever you are and wherever you are. So for all of you out there, again, if you were having a bad evening, if you had a bad week, if you were just simply looking for some company which you could unwind with, I hope that I have been worth your time so far, and, well, who knows, perhaps we may cross paths sometime in the future, and I do hope sometime soon in the future, whether it be at your events, whether it be at any other convention. As long as I have been able to put a smile on your face, my job here as a retired old codger has been done on this earth. After all, what else am I going to do here? Am I going to sit here and make all of these complaints on Twitter all day long? I don't think so. I think I'm going to enjoy myself as I can, and I hope you do too. So cheers to you all. Saluti und Prost. All right. And Phil Adler says nothing I can think of Tien Mao. Wait. Tien Mao. Phil, where did you learn that term? Because I would like to know the culprit in which you had learned that from, so I can deal with him accordingly. And I can only think of a few, considering that only a few know of that particular term. Onyx Flame asks, will you be doing a Grumpystream in August? Well, I shall repeat what I had mentioned earlier, which is depending on circumstances, which I am still trying to figure out, I may or may not be doing a patron-only stream in August from Roma, Italia. Because, well, I shall be traveling. It shall be quite strenuous for me, but at the same time, I want to keep you all updated on a Celestial Dragon's travels as I go. And, well, considering I shall be in new territory, I think it would be quite interesting if I were to have some stories to share from not only your reference, but also from my trips to Munich, Germany, the old Bavarian country, as well as Italia. So I shall be updating anyone who is a patron by that time, whether or not I shall be having a stream. And I do hope that if I do have a stream, that I shall have more of you watching than I would expect, so to say. And again, I am only a humble old dragon that just again sits here, drinks too much, talks even more, and hopes that I am able to put a smile on your face tonight. Well, let us see what else is happening before we officially wrap up the stream. And many of the youngsters are saying their adieus and farewells so far. And something. Wadia says, Tien, do your best not to lose your flight to Berlin. I don't know what you're talking about, Vadius. My flight last year was actually quite nice. Then again, I can't say the same thing about my human pet and having to deal with Grandma Kage at the airport before Berlin. Grandma Kage, Uncle Kage, and my human pet had been lounging in the airport VIP section when Grandma Kage got a hold of too many glasses of wine. The rest, if you haven't heard, you'll just have to wait until the next stream. Well, on that note, I believe that my audience and myself as a tired old Celestial Dragon has most likely had enough of whatever it is that we have been doing at this time. So I shall hopefully have provided you with enough entertainment to fulfill your evenings with much levity and entertainment. And, well, whatever it is that you were feeling, whatever moods had you down during this stream, I hope that I have been able to rectify and cheer up in terms of lifting your spirits. And on behalf of all of us entertainers, whether it be Uncle Kage, Alkali Badger, or Boozy Bismuth, I do hope that we can continue to make your evenings and your weeks that much better with the little things that we do, especially since, what do we do? We just sit around, we drink too much, we talk even more, and apparently it makes your weeks that much better. But that's as much as we can do as entertainers. And on that note, this grumpy stream unfortunately must come to a close as it always does, but this is never farewell. It is simply see you next time. And I shall certainly hope to see all of you next time on the Grumpy Stream and more. As always, I am your humble host, Tien Long, and I hope that in some little way, shape, or form, I have helped your evening or your mornings be that much brighter. May the winds always be with you, and I shall hope to see you next time.